This portion of the scheduled meeting of the Ed is being for technical reasons or topics for discussion that may be held in closed session pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act. There may be interruptions in the videotape. Tomorrow evening at 7 p.m.
Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before you all sit down for a minute, we had one of our former mayors pass away, Mr. Art Hansen, who was 1968 to 1973, and he was mayor for 72 and 73. Can we all just have a moment of silence for him and all the good work he did for us in Egg Harbor Township? Thank you. Okay, we've got different presentations tonight, but tonight's a special night here for a couple different reasons. We have an employee here who, this is her last official meeting. She's been with us almost 47 years, 46 and 8 months if I remember correctly, and this is her last meeting. So, Mr. Hodson and Mr. Ellis, I'm going to hand this to you.
Everybody carry the flowers. Yeah. In case it drops in there. I'm going to take them off because I don't want them to leave.
You can go right. Yeah. You know what? No, we're not going to do the official proclamation till she gets back from her first vacation on retirement. Go down. Go ahead. Come on down. All of you guys. Come on down. Both of them.
I don't know how you chose to handle flowers the way else. Dangerous thing you're doing. Then, however, congratulations. We're going to miss you because you've been here as long as I've been here and longer. However, enjoy the retirement. I see your husband's right over there. Shake him out. Enjoy. You both eyes on him. Enjoy life. Life goes very quickly these days for us older people, and enjoy everything. And I think we will be in good hands with the team below you. I don't want to speak about them directly, but I think we'll be in good hands. And certainly, if we need you for anything, you're right there on our road. Well, Mr. Alvin, I'm a little upset because you monitor me, you start me eating sweets. Mrs. Hughes, let me eat sweets, and when I diabetic meat, I said, beep, 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 beep.
That's a fire alarm in case you hear it.
She's not going to take the, yes, she's going to take it. Just make sure you tell me don't get any candy. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to miss you. I love coming down to the office and seeing you in this lovely sack and this after a long time. Look. You're not looking here too long to be here. But the staff is there, they're filming this thing too.
I am, and I actually have a few things I want to say, but I have it in writing so that I don't get to the parking lot and regret that I forgot to say something.
There's something there.
I do.
You filming this? Okay, if I didn't care. I wish I wanted to clear the room.
Okay. So this is for the mayor, the committee, all my coworkers, residents. So 46 years, 8 months, finishing up my 19th year as township clerk. And I can honestly say that I never imagined how quickly the years would pass because it feels like I blinked and somehow the decades went by. I'm kind of emotional. Try to make my way through this. I truly appreciate the support, patience, and friendships that have carried me through the years. And I also want to say a special thank you to my husband Frank, my daughter Nicole, and my daughter Jennifer. Jennifer's in Tampa, so she's was unable to make it tonight. They put up with many nighttime meetings, long election days, and times I was away at conferences. They've sacrificed a lot over the years, and their support has made it possible for me to do this job, and I'm incredibly grateful for that. Before retiring, I've done my best to prepare the office for this next chapter, and I am absolutely confident that things are in good shape, and I know the work will continue smoothly. Thankfully to my staff. And I especially want to offer my best wishes to Janice Hughes, because she'll be stepping into the role of Township Clerk effective January 1. And she is more than ready and is going to do a fantastic job, together with the support staff, Jen Rocco and Amber Wells. And I'm proud of what we've all accomplished together, and even though I'm excited for this next chapter of my life, I will always remember the township and the time I spent here. It's been a pleasure. And a lot of fun.
Okay, I'll have to behave when I come to Kirk's office because Eileen won't be there. So, to the break in. I'll behave, I'll come to the regular around the back.
It's being recorded, Josh.
Eileen, good luck. We all appreciate your work here. We all love this township, I know you do too, and Frank, your husband does. He's always out and about, and that's what makes it good. We've grown a lot over the 45 years I've been here, and we hope to get it right.
We're going to miss you.
Miss you.
Miss you guys.
You're going to need to leave early?
No, she's got a meeting. She's working it.
Right to the end.
Right to the end.
For the next part of the meeting, we have a group of individuals. Where's Roger? I know he's here. Could we ask the members of the Rent Review Board to come forward? State government has changed the way the rent review and rents are handled here in the state of New Jersey, and we've had some incredibly dedicated people sit on this board and support the tenants, the homeowners, the trailer park, and everybody else, and they've done an outstanding job. So Paul is going to read a resolution. Excuse me, we have a few things on the now.
Township of Egg Harbor Certificate of Appreciation, honoring the collective service of the Rent Review Board. In sincere appreciation of your exceptional dedication, unwavering commitment, and service to our community. Your collective efforts in providing fair, impartial, and thoughtful review of housing matters have helped ensure that both tenants and property owners are treated with respect, transparency, and equity. The board's diligence in navigating complex cases, upholding community standards, and fostering constructive communication has played a vital role in maintaining stability and trust within our housing landscape. Your professionalism, integrity, and collective spirit serve as an outstanding example of public service at its finest. Through your time, expertise, and compassion, you've positively impacted the lives of countless individuals and families. Your commitment to fairness and community well-being is deeply valued and truly commendable. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Township Committee of Egg Harbor hereby extends its deepest appreciation to all board members for their dedicated service on the Rent Review Board, and it commends them for their contributions to the township and its residents.
The attorney on that board for how many years?
38, as of counting right now. 38 years. Well, it's a long time, but it's been a wonderful service. I've enjoyed it thoroughly. I've enjoyed working with the Township Committee, the current Township Committee, and all the prior ones, and then we've become friends as well as colleagues in the work.
You've done an outstanding job. Outstanding job. Now, I would ask you to please introduce the members of the board that are here. They're not all here tonight. The chairman, Tom Dunleavy, is skiing.
I'll be sitting at serious business.
Yeah. He started with that, and it's So, I said, that's what it is.
Well, my lab has been created, and she is a newer member, a couple of years in, and she's done a wonderful job. She is very reliable in being present at every meeting that we have, and has done a wonderful job, and she's been a welcome addition. Beverly has been here many years. Beverly has been the right-hand side of the board. We always know what's going to happen, whether it's going to vote yes or no by the time it gets to Beverly, because she's right there at the end of the vote. And our member Paul Catasio, has been a member of the board as long as I can remember, and I've been here 38 years myself. So he has been a very valuable member of the board and has given us the viewpoint of a landlord, because he owns and operates with his father-in-law several parks, mobile home parks in the township. And has done a wonderful job. It's been my pleasure to serve with all of you, but I would particularly enjoy hearing the viewpoint of the landlord, which has a reasonable and fair viewpoint that deserves to be given attention. And last but not least is my friend and buddy, Brian Dunleavy. Brian and I started on the board together.
Yeah, exactly.
And so when I say I've been here 38 years, he's been here, except for one pause of a couple of years in between, he's been here as many years as I have been here, and was the former chairman and has done a wonderful job. And it's been a pleasure to serve with him as well. In fact, it's been a pleasure to serve with each one of them. I should give a little bit of attention to Pamela and to Jenna, who have given us great assistance, as well as Janice from time to time, and thank you all. It's been a pleasure. It's been a great privilege.
Well, I think it's well over 100 years' experience right now,
Yeah.
which is amazing. And the state of New Jersey thinks they can do it better than you.
I will say.
Good luck. Good luck on that. Yeah, we'll see what happens there.
Thank you.
We have a few other members here. But would anybody like to say anything? Anybody on the board, any more people, Paul?
Well, I had some time as mayor, and I know that the crisis that you dealt with, you tried your best for whether a water line broke, somebody's fence was not right. And it had to be a tough job because you really had not much control. But the thing is, people live in a trailer park, they own one and know, and we try to make sure it's safe and secure for them and properly ran. And I don't know what the state of New Jersey is thinking, because they didn't give you a lot of, Roger, I guess you can expand on it, not a lot of leeway for us to control them and make them do X, Y, or Z, but you tried your best. And I can remember I won't mention the trailer park name, but the water lines and sewer lines that were always compromised and needed help. So, thank you all, Roger. Go Phillies or go Baltimore, whatever the team is we root for. Yeah. I had Baltimore tickets, Roger has Philly tickets, so we used to swap. But the thing is, it's we need this in local government, people that will take an interest and try to help for the betterment of the community. That's all, right?
And it wasn't easy. You know that.
I serve with good professionals, okay, landlords, okay, that have passion, okay, and look to the tenants as well as their interests. So, to you, Paul, thank you. Kudos.
While I
but we're done, so we'll see what the state comes up with now.
couple times already.
We'll see what the state comes up with. I really don't have high hopes for the program, but they've taken it away, so we have to do what they say.
But thank you, each and every one of you. Thank you.
It's just a waste of time. Yep. I was a first responder, and people always say thank you for your service. But when COVID came, I would go to ShopRite and thank them for the service. A lot of people they should be thanked, and I asked some of those people today. For Thanksgiving, I always go away with my family. This Thanksgiving, I said I wanted to cook. So I got all the food, the turkey and all that stuff. I was going to let you cook it this year. So I found it was a family that didn't have Thanksgiving food, so I gave it to them. I said, hey, we can have chicken or eat with them, whatever. But here's a family, a group of people that feeds 6,000 families a month. And they're here today. Food bank people, we got to come on up here. Miss Michaels and the crew too, and all them. I go over to the food bank. Miss Michaels, I usually wear a tie, but I knew y'all were coming. Yeah, but I go to the food bank and I love it. And you have to see the workers, and they're there for the heart, from their hearts. So it's volunteers, paid employees, all. They love their job. You have to go see it. We don't know the amount of people that are in need in our area, but there's a lot. When you go over there, you see lines from here to Walmart, and that's far. And they stay there with their smiles and all that, and I fell in love with the place, so I know sometimes I bug them. I don't bug them, but I go visit them all the time. Saying that is just, I just wanted to thank them, and I want you to see some of the workers there. Also, I have a guy here, him and his wife. He was like the big dad who I try to be for the kids. He's one of the reasons why I am the way I am today. Back in my day growing up, men were men, and men didn't play. Men will jack you up. Now we got diapers and all that other stuff. And we had discipline, we had respect. We called them Mr. and Mrs. So I want to introduce Mr. and Mrs. Mack. If I want them to come up. Mr. Mack and Mrs. Mack, they're real humble, but I wanted to acknowledge them because they came to the food bank and the guy was showing them the front office, and the guy said, well, he wanted to make a donation. And so the guy gave him a little piece of paper. I said, no, get this Michael, get to the record. This is not that kind of donation. For our community, these are the Macs. From McDonald's in Atlantic City, they donated $50,000 to the food bank. Mr. Mack and Mrs. Mack going to choke me because they don't like those pats on the back. They do it because they love helping people. But my mother always said, give me my roses so I can smell them. So I wanted to recognize each and every one for the great job you do. Also, I was supposed to have Tyrone's, a place called Wing Addiction in Egg Harbor Township, and I want to have lunch with the staff on Friday with me. So keep up the great work, Mr. and Mrs. Mack. We love you. Look, we can't give you a street thing. They named a street after them in the legacy. But we want people to know you're EHT. And I would like for y'all to sing. I'd love to sing something.
You also do this. Are there things that the food bank needs more than others? And if you could let everybody know what are the things that are most important for the residents that go there?
Well, just one thing, for the public, they represent Cape May, correct? And Lake County, so
And Cumberland.
to come into our location on the pike, across from McCarthy Ford, and it's a big operation.
Will be.
And the food is unbelievable. I'll get a big shopping cart.
Well, thank you so much, Ray. We really appreciate that. And thank you, everybody, for having us here today. So we are Community Food Bank of New Jersey. We are right down the road at EHT. And we serve through our food bank operations across Atlantic, Cape May, and Cumberland counties, about 6,000 households every single month. But right in our pantry in EHT, we serve almost 2,000 households every single month. And we know that need is growing, right? Grocery prices are going up, wages are kind of going up, but not at the same rate. Insurance costs are going up, so we're just anticipating that need's gonna rise. And then there's lots of different ways that you can support us if that's something you're looking to do. Or maybe you're sitting here and you're thinking, oh, I could use some food, you can come check us out too. We're open to everybody. You don't need identification. You don't have to live in EHT. You just have to live somewhere in the state of New Jersey, and you're able to come once a month. So we do take donations of all kinds. So, an easy thing for folks to donate to us are things like canned goods, and we could always use them, definitely. But really extra special things, especially around holidays for our neighbors, are things you might not think of. Coffee, tea, things that are shelf stable, but not things that we would ever purchase with our budget because we have to prioritize things like, proteins and grains and things that might make a complete meal for a family. So when we get things like coffee or when we get that like name brand peanut butter that comes in, those are the things that, really make people's days, even months, really special. So if you're thinking about, dropping any one item off, that would be the thing we get requests for the most. But I just, again, really am incredibly grateful to Ray, to Paul, to really all of EHT who rallied behind us for a big project we just worked on and pushed us through in like record time with all of the purchases that we needed.
Hey,
So,
can you let them know the refrigeration that you did out there, what the project actually was? It's a great project.
Yeah, so we just installed in October 16 refrigerated and frozen lockers and freezers, and they're designed for working families. So they are open 24/7, and families can register with us, and then they can come pick up their food. They order their groceries online, just like you would from Amazon or from like Aldi or ShopRite, but it's free. So there's absolutely no charge to use the service. The groceries are free as well. And all that families need to do to qualify is tell us that they have the need. So it's incredibly accessible. You select your pickup day, and then you have basically from 11 a.m. until 7 a.m. the next day to come pick up your grocery order. And it's all the same things available in our pantry. So most of it is fresh produce, frozen proteins, and then some other like shelf-stable items that people ask for, like rice, things like that. Our most popular item, actually I just ran the report before I came, our most popular item is assorted bakery and bread. And then our second most popular item is macaroni and cheese. And that's because so far 50% of families that we serve have an average of about 2 kids. So they're typically like 2 or 3 adults in the household. About 30% are intergenerational, so there's grandparents living in the house too. Most of them have kids that they're supporting, and over 50% are working 2 or more jobs and just still aren't making ends meet. So if you know anyone who could benefit from the program, send them our way. They can just stop by and chat with us, or they can visit our website. Or if you want to support the program, same thing. Come by, chat with us, or visit our website.
Do an outstanding job. Outstanding job. But thank you. Ray's in big trouble.
Thank you for inviting us to come over. This is my opportunity to meet with the staff. Anthony was the one that actually went into the office. But I'm glad that Anthony and I came together on what we should do. A number of organizations that reached out to us and told us about what they wanted to do during the holiday season. And as we talked about it, we found out that they all utilize the food bank as their source to get the products that they distribute to the people that come and visit their organization. So we thought that rather than give a little bit to these several organizations, that we would make a significant contribution to the food bank. And so I'm glad that Anthony thought of that idea, and happy to meet you all. Thank you very
Also, I'd like to say, again, Mr. Mack, Mrs. Mack, I really appreciate everything you did for myself and my Dolphins, and y'all just did everything. And I looked in the dictionary one day, and I was looking for who's definition of a real man, and I saw Mr. Mack's picture. And then I said a real woman. I saw Mrs. Mack. And then when I looked in the dictionary, I saw married couples. You were in the dictionary. Paul, you was on the bottom. You was on the page too. Good husbands. When I looked up good husbands, I saw you on there.
McDonald's.
He gave me free food.
Well, thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Mack. Thank you very much. The food bank, enjoy it. And about the little project that we were dragged into, I was hoping maybe Ray Ellis would help you smooth the concrete, but other than that, that was an interesting project. The state of New Jersey gave you a grant, correct? And we had to make sure we could get it. State was very hot on the trail to get those things in, so we made sure it happened. Like, what's a picture there was?
I got some beautiful ladies. Don't get jealous.
Thank you again for everything. Thank you. You know, and it's actually a good segue because we're going to have a presentation tonight from the Atlantic County Utilities Authority, who also is a big supporter of the food bank. Matt D'Onofrio, the chairman, is here. Linda Bazemore is here. Who else is here, guys? Up. Look right at you. Before you start, can you talk a little bit about the food drive that you do every December?
Yes. The Community Food Bank does an incredible job. I have to echo what everyone has said about what they do for the community, whether it's Atlantic County, Cape May County, Cumberland County, but the ACOA participates in that. And actually, it's not really us, it's the residents. So the residents of Atlantic County, during your recycling week, the first 2 weeks of December, you're able to put out your recycling with some donations that go directly to the Community Food Bank. And we raised over, I think it was 10,000 pounds of donations to the Community Food Bank. And that's not possible without every single resident in the county participating in that. It's really been a great program we've done for a little over 30 years now. So, but very, very important cause when you start looking at the stats of, food security and, 1 in 9 adults. And I think it's like 1 in 8 children are, food source scarce. So certainly a very, very important initiative for the county that our neighbors.
And we're glad you've been doing it. So now you're here for business.
Yes, yep, and I'll keep it short because I know you have a long agenda. I don't think everybody's here for my budget presentation, but we all get to hear what's going on with the Atlantic County Utilities Authority. So the first set of information and packets here wouldn't be the ACOA if we weren't talking about different things that were kind of happening. Capacity at the landfill has been a topic of conversation for 3 or 4 years now. I've been the president for almost 3 years now, and before my tenure, it was a topic. What's happening? What are we doing? Where do we have capacity? We're currently permitted to 2029. Over the last 3 years, we've been developing plans and specifications to increase that capacity. We have an additional 11 years on top of that. So we're going from 2029 to 2040. And that's really important when we talk about affordability. So our rates are the lowest rate in the, except for one, in the entire state. Essex County is the only rate that's a little bit lower than us. Our 2026 rate is going up 2%. Our 2026 rate is lower than everybody else's 2025 rate still. The affordability of that impacts every single taxpayer. The cost of what we're looking at too is also a big part of that. So our expansion, we're looking at 2 different areas. We're looking at a little portion towards the Parkway and a little bit of a height expansion. The cost of that's about $25 million, and that sounds like a lot of money, right? The last expansion or the last construction phase that we did, we finished in 2024. It got us 3.5 years, cost us $18 million. So roughly $5.1, $5.2 million per year of airspace we were paying for. 11 years, $25 million is roughly $2.2, $2.3 million a year in airspace. So again, looking at long-term affordability, the rates that we've continued to have and continue to enjoy as far as Atlantic County residents, it's really important that we continue to stabilize that. The next big thing is what are the other counties doing? So there are 12 landfills in the state. 10 of them are all going for some form of expansion. 2 have already gone through the process. 5 or 6 are actually in the DEP right now. We're behind them. We're going through the process now. We're at the local level. We just had our first SWAC meeting. We'll have another one in January, and then we'll go to the county commissioners. So all of the landfills in the state really are looking for additional capacity. 5 of them are looking for additional heights. We are actually the lowest landfill, not just by price, but also by height in the entire state. So we're looking to kind of gain some capacity there. The first question you'll hear is, or the first statement you might hear is, you're going to see that landfill everywhere. You're not going to see it anywhere you don't already see it now. There's 2 places in the county that you see it right now. Mile marker 38 on the Parkway. Just to the right, we're 150 feet from the Parkway there. You see the side of our landfill. You see it now. You'll see it in the future. You also see Monmouth County on the Parkway. You see Burlington County on 295 and the Turnpike if you're ever driving up that way. They put these things typically in industrial areas. The other spot we look at is coming down Mill Road, going towards Westcott off of Route 30 in Absecon there where the McDonald's and TD Bank is. You see it just before the reservoir, and then you get to the reservoir and you don't see it. That'll continue, but there are no new areas. You don't see it on Delilah. You don't see it in developments. You don't see it in EHT, Hamilton, Brigantine. This is a pretty secluded site, I'll say. They kind of did a pretty good job when they did plan for where it was going. So that's what we're working through right now. We've gotten several letters of support. We continue to appreciate the letters of support we got from EHT as well last month. But that's the biggest thing that's moving right now. But again, the biggest part of that is the affordability. If our landfill closes prematurely, it's about a $25 million hit to the county, and that gets spread across the entire municipality. So not just EHT, but every municipality, from collection costs to household hazardous waste disposal to recycling costs and tip fees, and several other initiatives that we're involved with. So really, really important when it comes to affordability, which is a big topic right now in the state and the county, I'm sure in the municipality as well. As far as the budget, it's a pretty flat budget. So we're really looking at a 2% increase. We've been trying to kind of hold the line, behind, I guess, or lower than inflation. A lot of the counties are looking at about a 3 to 3.5%. They're looking at the inflation rate. Some have done 2%, but we're right in there with that 2%. We would be going for 0 if we could. The problem we're having right now is we have a lawsuit. We have to actually fund $1.5 million next year. So 65 residents in the county filed a lawsuit in 2024. Their house is 1,500 feet from our landfill. It's costing us $1.5 million every year as we kind of move through this process with them. So it has an impact on the rate. Our healthcare benefits is a big issue. We were actually able to get out of the state health benefits, which kept us at a flat rate, and that's savings gets passed on down to the ratepayers. And then the other big project that we just had that we cut the ribbon for was our RNG project. It's a 7-year project, $60 million in investment from a private company into our facility that's now taking the landfill gas, cleaning it to pipeline quality, injecting it back into the landfill. And what it's doing is providing revenue to the ACUA, which again keeps our rate low. So about $1.3 million in revenue is coming into our budget next year that'll help offset our costs, again, keeping our rate as stable as possible. And that'll be every single year. We're also seeing a reduction in emissions at our flare. So our flare does not run anymore because of this project. So that's a 95% reduction in total emissions. And then it just so happens we can use that renewable natural gas in our collection trucks, because all of our collection trucks were converted over to compressed natural gas about 10 to 15 years ago. It's a third of the emissions of diesel. It's a fraction of the cost, and it's really been a savings for the organization. And like I said, every penny that we save goes right down to the ratepayer, which happens to be every taxpayer in Atlantic County. The last sheet that a little bit more, the important one is just the report card. So this really is specific to Egg Harbor Township. It just kind of shows where your trash is. So it's the last sheet of that packet, probably. It's the one with the fancy graph on it. It just shows kind of the last 10 years and where your tip fee has been, where your tonnage has been. So the top chart we're looking at, that bottom one, 2025, that's the projected where you're going to end for the year. A couple things to note on there, especially while we have a large public in the room tonight, is every piece of recycling that gets put into the trash can gets charged at $81.19 a ton, or next year $82.81 a ton. Every piece of material that gets recycled, it's a zero cost to the township. We bear that cost, but it's a zero cost to the township. So a lot of towns that we've been meeting with, you guys are our 24th meeting out of 27. We're almost finishing up. And people are trying to figure out, how do we get people to recycle? There's a lot of misinformation out there, and I think people get it, just get overwhelmed with, is the pizza box recyclable? Is the yogurt container recyclable? Keep it simple, right? Pizza box is cardboard. If you got the extra cheese, it's covered in grease and cheese, it's trash, right? If it's clean, put it in recycling, it's cardboard. Don't overthink it. The peanut butter jar, just throw it in trash. It's covered in peanut butter, right? I know it's plastic, just throw it in the trash. Keep it simple. But think about this. We were just in Buena Borough, and their recycling rate went down, their trash tonnage went up. It was a $7,000, and for Buena Borough, it's a significant amount, $7,000 swing from what they were recycling to what they're throwing in the trash. And that's going right to their taxpayer, right? That's going right to their bill. So looking at their collection contract, that would be a 3.5% increase on their total collection contract. So we're trying to kind of get the word out, and we provide audits for recycling. But again, don't overthink it. Keep it simple. Cans, bottles, your junk mail, your newspapers, plastic, the yogurt container, if it doesn't have the right number on it, just throw it in the trash. If everybody just did the very simple basics, we'd be in a very, very good situation. So
Put it in a plastic bag.
don't put it in a plastic bag. Yes. The trash bags are not helpful because they get the machinery all kind of bound up, and that slows down the processing when that happens. So,
Question real quick.
sure.
You say like if it's a peanut butter jar, just
You can, but when you think about like what the net benefit of that is, how much water and soap are you using to clean out that peanut butter jar? If you want to be a great recycler, look at every single number, absolutely. And we have really great recyclers, and they know what those numbers are. I'm saying the large majority of people get so worked up over whether this solo cup is recyclable or this clamshell container is recyclable, that if they just kept it simple, they'd be much better than most people are when it comes to recycling. The peanut butter jar is probably using more water. So when you look at like a net benefit to the amount of water we're using to clean out a peanut butter jar, I mean, I can't stand clean the peanut butter off the knife. It is, but if it's stopping you from doing something else, it's not worth, again, that jar, right? It's not worth that container. So certainly, if you want to be a superstar recycler, clean it out, right? Look underneath, look at those numbers. You're going to know the rules. If you're worried about that peanut butter jar, you're going to know exactly what those rules are within your town. But if you're one of those people that go, recycling doesn't work, I'm just going to throw everything in the trash because you think that, the jam jar or whatever you have is contaminating things and they're not recycling anyway, don't. Keep the clean stuff in, keep throwing it in, and keep moving that material over to the recycling. And we keep moving the needle that way. We'll go from a 20, 30, 40%, 30% recycling rate to a 30, 40% recycling rate. So I'm not saying don't. I'm saying that if, again, this mentality is where people get so, people love to complicate things. Humans love to complicate things. Keep it simple. Keep it simple.
Do it.
Yes, exactly. It's going to your tax bill is really the bottom line of it. And then the last graph here is just really your projection on where you're at for next year. It's just a 5-year average. So when we say projection, 5-year average, COVID, you'll see those numbers are usually a little bit higher and they bring your averages up. But you look like you guys are pretty stable. The average is higher than what it was this year. So if I were to be projecting something, I would say it's probably going to be pretty flat for next year when you're looking at cost. So, and that should be it.
Promote this to the schools, recycling.
Yes, yeah. So we have a lot of outreach. Any of the schools that are looking for presentations, we bring in SuperCan because that's really where it starts. You know, the kids forcing the parents to do it is really where it starts. If you look at your chart, you'll see in 2020 there's a drop off in recycling, and this is across the town. So, for instance, Egg Harbor Township was looking at 25, almost 26%. Actually, in 2015, it was 27% recycling rate. COVID hits. And I don't know if it's a matter of what was happening at COVID or it's due to there's been so much work on education on what to recycle and how to recycle. And then if you remember nationally what was happening is China was turning away all of our recycling material. And then it became a very big platform and a lot of publicity about recycling is going to the landfill, recycling is being burned. It could have been in other places. It wasn't here in Atlantic County. It wasn't here in the state. It's a law. The problem is that, and I'll say this, Americans are lazy, right? We don't want to think about things too much. We want the convenience. We want to be able to kind of throw it out. And we were sending a lot of our trash to China that was contaminated. The rules were in place. We weren't following them and nobody was enforcing them. All of a sudden they said, we don't want your trash anymore. This stuff's contaminated. And then we had to start following the rules. And then we had to start thinking about what those rules were. And then we were frustrated because we were being told we couldn't do something, or we were being told that this has too much trash in it and they're turning these things away. And then that became the rhetoric of it's getting thrown into the landfill, it's getting burned. And there were states that were doing that because it became a cost thing for them. But that wasn't what was happening locally. And I think that really damaged the impression or the perspective of what recycling was. Our recycling material gets recycled, it gets processed, it gets turned into other products. It doesn't go into the landfill, it saves our capacity. It also saves our towns significant dollars. So it still works.
Well, full disclosure, I'm a board member of the CUA, and I am very proud of this organization. They are extremely proactive in how they approach things. They are the leaders in so many different areas and basically the person that people call when they want to get into something. So I'm very, very proud to be a member of that board. And Mr. Rosenberg, prior to me, I think was a commissioner on the board. And
Very good commissioner.
yeah.
I think it was also SuperCan.
Everybody gets in the super can, right?
I'm not tall enough. But no, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for everything.
Anybody has any
We'll
questions?
Finish.
Just one thing, I saw an advertisement.
Have the compost cans?
Yes.
How's that going?
Good. So we do composting lessons, so master composter classes we host at our site. So we'll have people come in to learn how to compost, and then they can buy the composting bins right there from us. Again, just another way to kind of keep.
Surprised me because it's something my family did.
Years, however, it's interesting that, I just wanted to make sure the public was embracing it and maybe doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially
Because we have a lot of leaves in Egg Harbor Township, as you see what we pick up. So if they do some composting on their own with grass waste and everything else, okay.
Yeah, when you really start looking at the material that's going into your trash can, you can really minimize what it is, especially if you're getting some of that food waste out, which is nice if you have a garden.
You hosted us a couple of months back. Good meeting, really appreciate taking us all through everything. Was really impressed with the sewer plant when you started throwing numbers out. Just throw the numbers out, what those windmills produced.
Yeah, so they just turned 20 years old. I said 21. It's usually a better birthday, but we'll celebrate 20. 20 years old, so December 12th of 2005, those things went online. And there's a lot of questions about offshore. We have nothing to do with offshore wind. This is all about ratepayer savings. This isn't about affordability and anybody else's electric bill. This is the electric bill for the Atlantic County Utilities Authority. So in December of 2005, we were able to go online with that. We've had a fixed electricity rate for 20 years. It's been 0.079 cents a kilowatt. We need a lot of electricity to run our plant and treat the wastewater for the 14 municipalities in the county. We've saved $8.8 million from that project. It didn't cost the ACUA a single dollar. The project costs about $20 million for the private investor. There was a $5 million grant, so there was a $15 million project cost. $0 came from the ACUA. We also get a rental for each one of those parcels because we don't actually own the windmills. We just buy the electricity. But we've had a fixed rate 20 years. 60% of our power comes from there. because they aren't always up all the time. August is a low month for wind. They do require maintenance, and we're looking at actually extending that contract now another 5 to 10 years. So the lifespan of those is a lot longer than they also initially had thought as well. But it's been a great project for us. It's been kind of our beacon, but again, it has saved us. And I always say, I don't get a bonus at the end of the year. I don't have a giant boat. I don't get a fancy car because we've saved money. It goes right to the ratepayers. And that's always been the goal of this organization we have the lowest sewer rate in the state as well, is to make sure that we continue to do that. So,
Great job.
yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right.
Anybody else have any questions?
That tour was exciting. I didn't know all this back there.
There's a lot to see, and it's always one of those things. When people get it, we're the sewer. When you flush the toilet and it works, you're good. When the trash disappears at the end of your driveway, it's you guys, but it comes to us, it's good. It's when there's problems with that, and there's a lot that goes involved with making sure that happens for the county. And it's always nice when we have officials that are engaged that want to come in, see what we're doing, and then really kind of understand what the full operation of that organization is. So I'm proud to be a part of that.
And the public can have a tour.
Yes.
Your public tours.
Yep. So we do tours all the time. You can go right on our website and schedule a tour if you want to do something in wastewater or solid waste. In the summertime, we do open houses on Wednesdays. So if you need a break from the beach or it's a cloudy day, we open our doors up. And then certainly Earth Day is a kind of flagship time for us, where April 27th, so mark it on your calendar, Sunday, April 27th.
It's coming quick.
All right. Yes, it is.
Yeah, thank you.
Great.
Thank you and all your staff.
Thank you very much. Have a nice holiday. All right. Thank you.
All righty. It's been a busy meeting already, hasn't it? Well, we're going to move into our ordinances and public hearings. Leo, you're up.
All right.
On ordinance number 27, an ordinance amending the code of the Township of Egg Harbor to repeal Chapter 180 entitled Rent Review in its entirety. The purpose of this ordinance is to repeal Chapter 180 Rent Review in its entirety due to preemption by state law, establishing a statewide cap and regulatory framework for rent increases in manufactured home communities.
Is there anyone in the public that would like to speak on the ordinance 27? Seeing none, can I have a motion to close the public portion? Up to ordinance number 27.
Make a motion.
Mayor, I need to do a roll call.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can we have a roll call on closing the public?
Ellis?
Yes.
Austin?
Yes.
Pauls?
Yes.
Rosenberg?
Yes.
And Firmer?
Yes.
Thank you.
Jumping ahead here. Can I have a motion to adopt ordinance number 27?
So moved.
I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Ellis?
Yes.
Austin?
Yes.
Pauls?
Yes.
Rosenberg?
Yes.
Yes, and to the people that are still here, I'm looking right at Ruth. Again, thank you for all the hard work you did on that. That's a tough board. Who else is here? There's Roger. It's done, Roger. All righty. Ordinance 28.
Ordinance 28, ordinance amending various sections of Chapter 6 of the Code of the Township of Egg Harbor entitled Administration of Government, specifically Section 6-3, 6-4, 6-5, 6-9, 6-35, 6-36, 6-39, and 6-60 through and including 6-62.7. The purpose of this ordinance is to remove obsolete references, modernize administrative language, and codify established procedures, ensuring consistency with current practice, state law, and organizational structure.
Is there anyone in the
Audience who would like to address the governing body on ordinance 28? Seeing none, can I have a motion to close the public portion?
I'll second it.
Roll call.
Yes.
Austin?
Yes.
Pauls?
Yes.
Rosenberg?
Yes.
And Firmer?
Yes. Can I have a motion to adopt ordinance number 28?
Make the motion.
Roll call, please.
Yes.
Austin?
Yes.
Pauls?
Yes.
Rosenberg?
Yes.
And Firmer?
Yes. Ordinance 29.
29, an ordinance to amend the Code of the Township of Egg Harbor, Chapter 1, entitled General Provisions, by establishing new sections, specifically Sections 1 through 15, entitled General Penalties Provision, and Section 1-16, entitled special penalties provision. The purpose of this ordinance is to create a general penalties provision within the Township Code so the violations of municipal ordinances can be enforced uniformly, even in cases where a specific penalty is not otherwise stated in a particular chapter or section.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to address the governing body on ordinance 29? Seeing none, can I have a motion to close the public portion?
Thank you, Rose.
Thank you. Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes. Can I have a motion to adopt ordinance number 29?
Make a motion.
Roll call, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Ordinance 30.
Ordinance 30, an ordinance to amend the code of the Township of Egg Harbor, Chapter 94, entitled Design, Performance, and Improvement Standards, and Chapter 195, entitled Streets and Sidewalks, specifically by amending sections 94-11A, 94-11H, 94-38A, 94-38G9, 94-38G10, and 94-38H of Chapter 94 and 195-19A and 195-24B of Chapter 195. The purpose of this ordinance is to update curb and sidewalk requirements to ensure consistency with current engineering standards, improve pedestrian safety, and modernize in lieu contribution provisions.
Is there anyone in the public that would like to address governing body on ordinance number 30? Seeing none, could I have a motion to close the public portion?
Check.
Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes. Can I have a motion to adopt ordinance number 30?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Ordinance number 31.
Okay, ordinance number 31, an ordinance amending Chapter 94 of the Code of the Township of Egg Harbor entitled Design, Performance, and Improvement Standards, specifically Section 94-21, Grading, Topsoil, and Seeding. The purpose of this ordinance is to update grading, topsoil, and seeding requirements for residential development, including submission standards, performance criteria, inspection procedures, and compliance with Pinelands and NJDEP regulations.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the public that would like to address governing body on ordinance 31? Seeing none, can I have a motion to close the public portion?
Motion.
Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes. Can I have a motion to adopt ordinance number 31?
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes. Ordinance 32.
Ordinance 32, an ordinance amending Chapter 225 of the Code of the Township of Egg Harbor entitled Zoning, specifically Section 225-61, General Requirements, and Section 225-91B2A, Fees and Permits. The purpose of this ordinance is to amend Chapter 225 of the Township Code by adding uniform address display requirements for commercial properties and revising zoning and engineering fees applicable to new single-family dwellings.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the public that would like to address the governing body on ordinance 32? Seeing none, can I have a motion to close the public portion?
Make a motion.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes. Can I have a motion to adopt ordinance number 32?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Ordinance 33.
Ordinance 33, an ordinance amending Chapter 225 of the Code of the Township of Egg Harbor entitled Zoning, specifically Section 225-99, Timber Ridge Redevelopment Area. The purpose of this ordinance is to amend Chapter 225, Section 225-99 of the Township Code to adopt the revised redevelopment plan for the Timber Ridge Redevelopment Area, Block 1223, Lots 5, 6, and 8, and Block 1305, Lot 7, by updating permitted residential development and authorizing transmittal of the amended redevelopment plan to the planning board pursuant to NJSA A:12A-7E.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the public that would like to address the governing body on ordinance 33? Mr. Castellano, just state your name for the record.
Castellano, Egg Harbor Township. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you. I really hadn't anticipated speaking before the body before I was sworn in, but there are two ordinances tonight that I really felt that I needed to express my views, and I hope, in the spirit of trying to work with you, I hope you'll accept my views in that spirit as well. Ordinance on Timber Ridge. I'd like to recommend that this ordinance be held and modified. This ordinance allows 215 homes to be built, and we can't afford that. Residents want us to slow residential growth. We're now at 48,000 residents. How much more can we grow? Overdevelopment drives the need for schools, municipal services such as first responders, roads and traffic, utilities. That in turn drives up our property taxes. Residents want affordability and they don't want overcrowding. I understand there are laws in place, particularly the Pinelands laws. I've been working with them since I was first elected to the board in 2001. But I think it's time that we take a fresh look at that law and its requirements. Let's hold this ordinance and let's evaluate what homes are we required to build now? What homes can we hold? And what homes are we not required to build at all? What can we deal with through the use of our own zoning and planning? And beyond that, what reforms may we need from the state, both in terms of administrative or legislative relief? I'm no stranger to Trenton. I've lobbied there before on behalf of our township. I've had our funding laws changed for the schools, and I'm ready, willing, and able to go back again. I'd like to throw out a few notions. First of all, we have a new administration that's about to take over in Trenton, as you all know, and let's hope that that's going to be a clean slate and a blank slate in terms of the Pinelands. We've done our part for the Pinelands. A couple other ideas, just notions related to this ordinance. As I look at it, I don't see impact fees from the developer. Those would be fees to help offset schools, municipal services, roads, etc. We have to think about that going forward. Another thought, can we allow the commercial portion to go through? I'd love to see us have good quality ratables up in the front portion on the Black Horse Pike. Can we think about making the entire thing commercial again? Is that viable? There's no homes, but yet good commercial ratables that help our township. A final thought, as I look at it, it's right almost across the street from the Davenport School complex. Why don't we ask the school district if they may have use for it? So then you could imagine possibly part of that parcel could be an extension of the Davenport campus. We know they need space. They need space for right now, even without any more homes, they need space right now for preschool. I was at planning. Many of you here were there on Monday night. They're building just to house the preschoolers. So there's another thought and a possibility, that I just wanted to throw out as ideas. Again, I'm here to work with you. I look forward to being sworn in next month. I'll be able to do more. And again, we have got to slow residential growth. I think that's something that we're all in agreement on. 100%. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
to say is, if you don't mind me saying this, is Paul Hodson is on the transition team. So
We're going to have a voice from Egg Harbor Township with the governor, the new governor, when she comes in. So I think, I'm not sure what is going to be asked of him, but he knows this area very well. He understands the issues at the school. I think it's an incredibly good pick for the governor to put him on there. So, I don't know, Paul?
Pete, you're right on. You're right on. We've all been here and watched it. The Pinelands is out of control. I don't want to say anything that I should be quoted for or not say, but they're out of control. We are 60-some square miles township. And if you look at it from the aerial or from when you drive around, it's been pieced together with no real thoughts. Our zoning may have a problem, but again, we have to answer to the Pinelands. And you know we've been sued by the builder's remedy, okay, with some phenomenal amount of low-income housing that blows my mind because I don't know where it is in Linwood, and I certainly don't know where it is offshore in Longport. But they singled out Egg Harbor Township because of our space. So I know we went to Trenton many times. I think we met Mr. Greenwald when I was on the school board. I champion the cause, and believe me, I don't have a quiet mouth. I will speak. And the Pinelands, DEP, CAFRA needs to get down here, see what we live with, see what they force on us, and make a common sense approach to what they're doing. I think people forget the word common sense because let's look at it and what's fair. So Pete, you got a good point. I mean, look, our schools are bulging. We just sat here at planning board with the expansion for the pre-K that the state forced on us. Now we have to pay for. Okay, so it's a very good point. The Pike is, we've always tried to develop the Pike with ratables. There's no question about it. One of the things that's really sticking in my mind is clear cutting the woods that we do. Where I live, I got plenty of trees I've never touched. But you just, we clear cut, and I guess the Pinelands don't care about that. But the thing is, Pete, I appreciate what you said. Believe me, I believe exactly what you said. And how I got on the governor's transition team, I won't go there. I don't know how. But I got a call, and I answered the call, which I answer all my calls. And it was, they invited me as a representative from Atlantic County. So,
can help you
yeah, Pete, yeah. We got to get them to look at what's going on.
I just want to say a couple of things on this. When I was sitting on zoning board, there was a project that came up on Ocean Heights, same type of project. We're taking commercial property and changing it to residential. I'll speak for this project. I'm not for it for one reason. We're taking good commercial property, turning it into residential. So that's where I stand with that.
Thank you.
And certainly, Pete, I think, I have to agree with what Will says, but I think a condo project is better than apartments. And I mean, everybody that knows my history, I spent 15 years in Summers Point. We were loaded with apartments as a police officer. So with condos, you're invested in the home or the product, and you take care of it. You don't let it go down. And apartments sometimes don't stay that way.
We're going to use your experience, trust me.
Thank you.
Keep the numbers handy for Trenton, Pete, so I'll pick up, you know.
You got it.
All right.
All right.
Thank you again.
Is there anyone else that would like to? Can we have your name for the record?
My name is Dottie Jenkins. I'm up on Greystone. I am across the street from the development area. Okay. Thank you. I have to concur with Mr. Castellano. I don't necessarily agree with this development just for the sheer fact we have water issues. 21 years ago, I made settlement on my house. But my settlement was delayed because of a hydrological drought that took place in New Jersey, and basically they stopped construction in my area for a while. Because of you doing your construction, you are basically preventing a lot of groundwater from going into our drainage systems. Naturally, when it rains, it seeps into the ground, goes into our aquifers, it is filtered, and then it goes into our drainage systems. When you start doing construction, you basically start paving, and all of that water that accumulates gets pollutants and everything like that, and it goes into our drainage systems unfiltered. We need to worry about our water. We need to worry about the quality of our water. So please think about that before you even consider constructing. Okay? Thank you.
Ms. Dillon, I think you were coming.
Good evening. Doris Dilly, Egg Harbor Township. I'd like the governing body, as well as the members of the public, to indulge me because I'd like to only be up here one time for the sake of time and the other people that are here that may like to speak. So the statement that I'm about to read that I'd like to be put into the record is regarding ordinance number 33, which is Timber Ridge, and also ordinance number 35, which is Anchorage Point. So for the sake of time, I just want to be here once, and I appreciate the audience indulging me as well as the Township Committee. I have serious concerns about the process currently being used to redevelop and rezone areas of our township. Specifically, when the current township planner, who plays a significant role in guiding or recommending redevelopment actions, is receiving campaign contributions from a developer who stands to benefit from those decisions, as in the case with Anchorage Point development and the Timber Ridge development. The developer for Anchorage Point contributed significantly to the current planner. The developer for Timber Ridge contributed to the current planner, as well as a current member of the Egg Harbor Township elected officials. I just want to say that again. The developer for Anchorage Point contributed to the current planner. The developer for Timber Ridge contributed to the current planner, as well as a current Egg Harbor Township elected official. The developer in Timber Ridge is also a current elected official in another municipality. This creates a troubling appearance of a conflict of interest. Even if all actions comply with campaign finance and ethics laws, the perception of influence undermines public confidence in the fairness and independence of the planning process. Redevelopment and rezoning decisions have long-lasting impacts on residents, neighborhoods, infrastructure, and property values. These decisions must be made transparently and solely in the best interest of our community, free from political or financial influence, whether it be real or perceived. Public trust depends not only on legality, but on integrity and accountability. For this reason, it is appropriate to ask for greater disclosure, clarification of roles, and consideration of safeguards such as a recusal, independent review, or engagement of an impartial third-party planner. Our township deserves a redevelopment process that is transparent, ethical, and guided by sound planning principles, not one that raises reasonable questions about undue influence, or more importantly, and probably most importantly, divided loyalties. In closing, I would ask that you deny this project for Timber Ridge development on all of the reasons that have been spoken for prior to this evening, as well as anything that has been spoken about it tonight. And I also encourage you to deny the development that is going to occur or would like to occur at Anchorage Point for the sake of the people that have lived there, for the sake of the people who have retired there, and for the reasons that I've spoken about this evening. I thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak. I wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dara Breslin, EHT resident. Much like Mr. Costello, and I'm sorry I missed your name, but I agree with them 1,000%, mostly for reasons I'm sure most of you guys all already know. There is very, very little space or ability for Egg Harbor Township to actually be able to handle the mass amount of homes that are being built continuously, have already been built, and are continuing to be built. We have very few schools available for enough of these, families that are eventually going to end up with kids. We have less and less school bus drivers every year that are not going to be able to bring any of these kids to what little schools there are. This money can be used for better opportunities. This land can be used in better ways. I just wanted to kind of give my opinion, and I hope you guys understand what this township really cares about. And it is not just about constantly building homes, but more so about building a community. Thank you.
Jill Campbell, Egg Harbor Township. I am a teacher in the district, and I can tell you we are busting at the seams. Where are we putting all these kids? The scenario is going to be, well, we have to build new schools, the school tax is going to go up. It's not the township, it's the schools. And all of the residents blame the schools. You have to stop the building. Stop. Moratorium it, I don't care what you have to do. You have to stop it. We don't have the room. Period, end of story. We don't have the room. We are busting at the seams. And I echo what Mr. Castellano said. I echo what Doris said and that other gentleman said. We've got to stop the building. Bring some commercial people in. Bring some businesses in, like I had suggested before. We would love to have Costco's, Wegmans, love to have any of those places. Stop the building. Thank you.
Anyone else? Seeing none, can I have a motion to close the public portion? Oh, sorry.
Juanita Hyman, Egg Harbor Township resident. And I just want to echo what everyone else just said. We don't have the room for more kids. We're getting less money from the state. We don't know if we're going to continue to get federal funding. And what's going to happen is we're going to have to increase taxes for the local, the taxpayers. So they're going to fill it. And like I said, like the lady says, we're busting at the seams. We don't have the space, and the taxes are just going to increase.
Edward Reichelt. I live on Ivans Avenue. And I was going to wait till the end, till the open public, but some of what everybody was saying applies to other developments that are in progress. There's one, Egg Harbor Estates, that's going to put 63 homes between Tremont and Ivans Avenue on West Jersey. There's the one at Franklin and Ridge. I think that's 23 homes. And I specifically wanted to talk about water also. I'm at the dead end of Ivans Avenue, south of West Jersey. And every development that's gone in, the Shires, even ShopRite, all that water and any other development, I guess south of the Black Horse Pike, all that water gets dumped into the Mill Branch, which goes right by my house. And it's impossible. I don't know how they can keep doing this. And I want the committee to, really, Paul, when you're up there, you got to really step up, because the Pinelands Commission, does anybody know if they gave us anything? Didn't they make promises?
They didn't give us anything. They mandated this growth.
But I thought they said they were going to give us something, help or.
And I'm familiar with Ivans Avenue. You had the water coming through there.
Different times of the year, you're flooded out pretty good, correct? Okay, so I understand it. That's the sad part about it, is we look at these aerial maps, and I remember when we went up to, it skips me now, up north with the Pinelands. What was it?
The Highlands area.
Highlands. And they thought we had leprosy when we walked in there. But Frank Sutton at the time was a committee person, and he showed an aerial map of Egg Harbor Township. And the retention ponds looked like something that happened in Baghdad. Okay? We can't just rely on these designs to handle the water. Mother Nature handles the water. She works it pretty well on her own. And we got to think of that when we do these developments. And like I said earlier, clear cutting, it doesn't cut it, because trees use water.
Well, and people may think that the retention ponds are just going to hold the water until it evaporates, and that's not the way it works. It flows underground and eventually gets into one of the Mill Branch, the Cedar Run Branch,
I think you have drainage come down towards you.
The Pike, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Pike, the Shires, and the worst part is, I wasn't living there at the time, but my now wife was. And when she was pregnant, it was so bad, she couldn't even flush her toilet. She had septic. She couldn't even flush her toilet. And thank goodness that the township came through and put sewage in, but it's like with the increase in, like other people said, the number of students, but the other main thing I want to talk about is the traffic. First, I want to apologize for being late to the meeting, because I was waiting 10 minutes to get out of Ivans Avenue, make a right turn on Ivans Avenue because of the traffic. And now there's going to be 2 or 3 more streets between Tremont and Ivans pouring onto West Jersey. So I would appreciate anything that the Township Committee and Mayor you can do, and because it's like, I think everybody agrees, it's bad. It's bad. So anyway, thank you.
James Bear-Pesh. I've been a Egg Harbor Township resident for more than 40 years. And I remember the Pinelands mandate when it came in. And the truth of the matter is that Pinelands has zero authority to enforce this mandate. We've ignored it for 30 years. And if you are truly concerned with overbuilding, all you have to do is stop rezoning. It's really just that simple. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Have a motion to close the public portion?
So moved.
But you have to come back. Yeah, and just one, please, because you were already up. We're trying to keep it to one bite at the apple tonight.
Is it the state of New Jersey that is requesting that we build in our area?
Mandates.
So they are mandating that we build here.
We were designated a high growth zone.
That's been back since 1980.
Every single mayor has fought this all the way through governing bodies. Senator McCullough, I know for decades, tried to fight this.
Where we need to go. Do we not get?
The only place we can go is Trenton.
Well, I guess we do.
And so you know, the township's divided in sections. What's controlled by Pinelands are controlled by CAFA. And just the basic concept, Ocean Heights Avenue is the boundary line. Anything north of Ocean Heights is Pinelands, anything south of Ocean Heights is CAFRA, and it goes all through the township of areas that are Pinelands controlled or CAFRA controlled.
The one thing that surprises me is that you have so light because of all of these buildings that have become vacant. Why aren't we just rebuilding on them?
It's up to the.
No, I'm
It
just,
is.
I'm just
It is.
saying in general, because why do we have the blight? It's not making our township look better.
No, but it has to do with, that has to go through the court system. We can sue people for not taking care of their business when they close down, and it happens. But if they get a judgment in their favor,
Well, then we need to pursue that a little bit.
we do.
I know, we do, because
But thank you.
it's eyesore. Thank you.
All right, can I have a motion to close the public portion?
So moved.
Have a second, please? Roll call, please. Alex? We're closing the public portion.
Oh.
Watson?
Yes.
Pauls? Rosenberg?
Yes.
And Fromer.
Yes.
Thank you.
take a vote in regards to the Timber Ridge development, which is, I want to take the overdevelopment in the township off the table for a minute because we have to focus on this particular ordinance. Could you please explain to the audience what this ordinance does and what's already been done on this property, so where this stands?
So this has already been approved back in 2023. It's set to have 215-unit garden apartments and 8 affordable housing. Developer came in and requested to change the garden apartments to market rate units, attached dwellings, with 10 affordable units. So this is amending an already approved plan. So it's either by a no vote, it's going to go back to the garden apartments, 215. By a yes vote, it's going to approve 215 market rate units. It's already in existence.
So basically.
Is that right, Jen?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Just explain the affordable units.
Yeah, I'm going to, Jen Hellers, if you don't mind. I'm going to make sure I say it right. We have the professional in the house.
I'll come to the mic, please.
Jen Heller of Palestina and Associates. I authored this redevelopment plan, and to go with what Tom is explaining, this project was approved in '23. Same process, the redevelopment plan, and then it goes to the planning board for site plan. This is the same thing that's going to happen. If it's approved tonight, the developer enters into a redevelopment agreement with the township that handles the 10 affordable units that we receive credit for. And then they come back to the planning board for site plan approval. So there's another bite at the apple with the zoning that's set forth in this redevelopment plan. All this zoning does is add in the use to allow single-family attached townhouses, essentially. So the garden apartments is still within the zoning ordinance, but this gives the developer the opportunity to build townhouses, a different product, and they would be for sale. And we gain 10 affordable units rather than 8 rental units.
Right, and that's, I know.
No one wants to see the development there, but this particular project has already been approved. So what it's doing is taking, what this ordinance is, it would do is changing it from rental units to homeownership.
And they still have to go to the site, they still have to do a site plan approval with the planning board.
100%.
Right.
And we're getting additional affordable housing units, which is another thing that we're mandated by the state.
What's the number of affordable units that the state thinks we have to build?
So in round 3, it was 1,000 units. And in round 4, it's 142.
So that's together?
Yes.
So it's 1,100 for the public. There's 1,100 affordable housing homes, like I said earlier. I don't know where they are in Linwood, and I don't know where they are in Longport, but in Egg Harbor Township, because we have growth, we have property.
Correct.
Okay.
They look at things like economy, they look at your land, available land, and that's how they determine. And also because we're in a regional growth area. So we have higher densities in those Pinelands areas, and that's where they expect the affordable housing.
And that's all mandated by the state of New Jersey.
Correct.
And a 35, 40-year fight.
It's been longer than that.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it has been. Thank you. Thank you. So I just wanted everybody to understand what that actually means. This project is approved, so we're voting either for rental units, apartments, or homeownership. That's what this particular vote is about. So can I have a motion for where are we here? For ordinance 33, can I have a motion to adopt it?
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Yes. Reluctantly, yes.
No. As much as I love being told what to do by Trenton.
And Frommer.
For the reasons that we stated tonight, and Mr. Castellano, just so you know, and everybody else in here knows, we have already started a redevelopment committee to look at the zoning laws and try to coordinate with what we can do here with the state, because this is not just an Egg Harbor Township fight. This is a fight every municipality has to deal with. And unfortunately, the state designated Hamilton Township, Galloway Township, and Egg Harbor Township high growth zones. And that put us at a significant disadvantage. So we are on this and have been on it for a long time. Pete, we're going to use you for whatever knowledge you have. It's an uncomfortable situation for each and every one of us, but I do believe that homeownership is better than rental units. When you have people invested in their property, they're going to, hopefully they will take care of it and it'll be a better product. So I vote yes.
And to everyone here, our state assemblyman, you can call him. Our state senator, you can call him. I'm sure he knows a lot about this as much as he does. So call and tell him what your thoughts are. Well, we'd like to have some control, but we don't have a whole lot when it's Pinelands.
Ordinance 34.
Ordinance 34, an ordinance authorizing execution of a tax abatement agreement with TGT 3324 LLC for the property located at 3324 Bargaintown Road, Block 5505, Lot 20, and additional lots 19, 21, 22, 23, and 24. The purpose of this ordinance is to authorize execution of a tax abatement agreement with TGT 3324 LLC for the approximately 43,050 square foot indoor sports facility and related site improvements approved on the final site plan, and to establish payments in lieu of taxes in accordance with the 5-year exemption and abatement law.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the public that would like to speak on ordinance number 34? Seeing none, could I have a motion to close the public portion?
Make a motion.
Roll call, please.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Can I have a motion to adopt ordinance 34? Can I have a second?
I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Ordinance 35.
Ordinance 35, to adopt a redevelopment plan for the Route 152 redevelopment area. The purpose of this ordinance is to adopt the Route 152 redevelopment plan for Block 9401, Lot 1, Block 9402, Lot 1, and Block 9603, Lot 2.
Thank you. Anyone in the public that would like to speak on ordinance number 35?
Hello,
Yes, sir.
President again. This was actually the reason why I came in here today.
I grew up in this area. I've been born and raised in this area. And much like I said before, there's a lot to be said about what we decide to redevelop, where we decide to redevelop, and what we are actually planning on doing with this development plan. If I'm correct, this is out on the Longport Causeway. This is a proposal of adding more boat slips, reconstructions to marinas, moving people out of homes that are already there. You sure about that? Appreciate that, Paul. I know from working in the marina industry just what happens when you have, an additional 100-something boats floating around in the water. You're getting oil, you're getting antifreeze, you're getting a lot of waste. You're also talking about an area that is mostly inhabited by ospreys, striper fish, different type of wildlife out there. This is developing on wetland property. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's not a place to be looking at. There's absolutely zero reason to be developing any property out there. What's already there is, we've already seen it get ripped apart by Sandy and left more trash and waste out into the ocean. We just built an entire marina right there on Bay Ave, been reconstructed. There's another massive marina down the road, still on Bay Ave. We have marinas all over the place. I've never seen so many boats in the water than I have in the last 5 years. It is insane. It's dangerous. It's absolutely dangerous. We're talking about creating a massive traffic problem in an area that's already inhabited by a wildlife that is trying to thrive. It's been doing great over the last couple of years, but we're introducing more fishermen. We're introducing, again, like I said, more waste. This is a poor use of property. We already have other properties that could be developed, that should be developed. They're being overlooked. Pretty sure Doc's Marina Dolphin Dock has been taken out. There's room there. If you guys don't like what I have to say, that's understandable. I've never seen anything positive come from massive projects like this developing on a wetland. It's dangerous. Very, very dangerous. I think Sandy was the last storm we're going to see. It's not. So don't waste your money. Thank you.
Before you start, if anybody would like to speak, and this is the hot topic for tonight, so if anybody wants to speak, can we just have a line form here? Or actually, we'd probably go this way because most of you are sitting over there. So. So yeah, this way, if you're all in line, we'll call you up as you are in line. And could you please keep your comments to 5 minutes? Some of you we've already heard, but I'd like to hear you again. We'd like to get it on the record. You can do it. You can do it.
I've been here before, so hello to everyone. Good to see you again, and thank you for
And we need your name.
thank you for listening to me. John Gresco, 12 born in Anchorage Point. My wife and I have been in the area for 15 years. We were over in Ocean City when my family was younger. We're lucky to have two children who are started having children, so now we have grandchildren. A couple years ago, I wanted to make sure I spent enough time with my grandkids, so I started to plan retirement. Ocean City was a little too busy and too packed and too noisy in the summer and too dead in the winter. So we started looking, where would we want to retire? Certainly looked at Florida and different things. Went up to the Poconos, checked a bunch of stuff, ultimately went up and down the Jersey coast because this is the area we like. And we're lucky enough to find a home in Anchorage Point, built in 2005. Very good, perfect for us and our family as they continue to grow. We moved in and we've been very happy. It's a great neighborhood, great people. bunch of retirees, law enforcement personnel, union professionals. About 50% live there full-time, but everybody uses their homes. Everybody's down in the summer. We have get-togethers and different things. The biggest thing is, especially for me, when I have all 7 of the grandkids down, it's quiet and safe. The older ones can jump on a bike and go ride around the neighborhood. I'm not too concerned. Still worry. I'm a grandfather. I'm going to worry, but I'm comfortable them doing that. They go and grab their fishing rods and go anywhere on the point to where they want to fish or crab or anything. Right out front of our house, we can go. They can jump in the kayaks or the paddle boards and go out into the lagoon or back into the wetlands and fish or do whatever they want there. So it's worked out very well. Most importantly, the people have been good. We know we look out for each other. We're there helping each other. We keep an eye on each other's homes and different things, and it's a very safe thing. This proposed development plan, the way it's planned right now, will significantly change the neighborhood. It won't be the same again. There will be, 100 and some docks for boats coming down the thing. There will be parking along O'Byrne Drive. I believe during the planning meeting, there's typically when somebody's building something, there's a requirement for how many parking spaces they must have in order to support the number of people. I've been in front of you guys many times, and I've been concerned about how fast this thing has been moving. Certainly, I want to thank the 3 of you who actually came physically out to Anchorage Point and visited and walked around and saw what was going on. But nobody's engaged with us on anything. I mean, we've had to fight to get here, fight to get our names heard, our concerns heard, and haven't seen anything that we've said or done come in any of the resolutions and stuff. Most of the pictures we see are from 20 years ago. It doesn't even represent what the place is right now. So I'm hoping you can do something to change this, because it will not be the same development. There will be too many people, won't be safe. I certainly wouldn't be able to let my kids ride their bikes around the neighborhood when there's people pulling boats in and everything else that they got to worry about. So I really hope you think about this. And going back to Paul, what you said earlier, common sense. This is not common sense. I mean, you're supposed to be representing the community, representing the people, and I am not against development. I mean, there is a commercial property there that could be a restaurant, that could be anything. But what's going in isn't working with the community and the people that live there to maintain some semblance of a good community. It's going to become all rentals, and it's just not going to be the same. So anyway, thank you. I really hope you think about this, because this is a huge change, let alone with the other things that people say.
Hello again. Good evening. My name is Jennifer Kerwin. Sorry, I can't really, my glasses are for strictly reading. I'm from Egg Harbor Township, Anchorage Point. So thank you. Good evening, Mayor Frummer and the members of the committee, Township Committee. My name, as I mentioned, Jennifer Kerwin. On December 10th, I sent a letter to each one of you on behalf of the neighbors, myself and the neighbors of Anchorage Point, respectfully requesting Ordinance 35, the Route 152 redevelopment plan, be removed from tonight's agenda. I want to reiterate, and I will also hand a copy at the end of my speech, to expand and reiterate on those concerns here. First, outlined in my letter, there are multiple court rulings, including the McAdams Daggett Holding Corp. From Appellate Division 2010 and Judge Nelson Johnson 2008 decision, reaffirming that upland property owners of O'Byrne Drive retain enforceable rights prohibiting commercial marina development. These rights run with the land and remain with the binding of the current developer and remain binding on the current developer. Advancing Ordinance 35 disregards this judgment. Second, parking adequacy. The redevelopment plan relies on outdated visuals, as John mentioned, and inaccurate claims. The pictures that were included in redevelopment plan are over 20 years. If you see his house was rebuilt in 2025, it is not in any of those pictures. As I mentioned, in reality, every home in Anchorage Point has sufficient parking for the residents, guests, and also has parking for visitors, even during peak season. Throughout the year, there's ample parking for visitors as they will park their cars, fish, they will paint, they will kayak, as well as park to see the fireworks during Night in Venice, 4th of July, or other holidays within where there's fireworks. The parking demand would stem solely for the proposed private development, and frankly, additional parking is unnecessary. Third, the public trust doctrine and ecosystem impacts. The plan restricts public access to the waterfront. As of right now, and as John mentioned, and as I mentioned, our children play in the area. They can run around, they can go fishing, they have access and views to the water, and our visitors also have access to the water. The current plans propose a bulkhead and parking along Auburn Drive, completely blocking access to the water. The plan, which also violates the public trust doctrine. The proposed alternate for our access, as I mentioned before, is a 14-minute walk down Route 152, down towards Summers Point, walking with 5 children under 8 and 7 grandchildren with kayaks, boats, and fishing rod. And you see how fast the cars go on that road and how little walking space there is in certain parts is completely dangerous and unsafe for families. Furthermore, on the traffic, Route 152 already suffers congestion during peak hours, especially during the summer. Marina traffic and potential trailers, alcohol service will increase the ability or potential for accidents, and with the additional potential parking that's being discussed in this redevelopment plan, block access to emergency vehicles and prevent emergency vehicles from getting in due to overflow of traffic, and also while within the neighborhood. Furthermore, Anchorage Point is a one-way in, one-way out area. So every point, if you miss the restaurant, you will be forcing all that traffic through the neighborhood. Again, increasing and being a threat to public safety, both on the outside on Route 152 and within our neighborhood. Community opposition is not only limited to the few voices. As 13 Anchorage Point residents signed a letter that I will be sending to you and sharing with you, and that you've already have in your inbox. If you take a tour in our neighborhood, there are signs throughout the community just demonstrating widespread neighborhood opposition. And as well, you'll hear tonight further opposition. So this redevelopment plan advances interests of only one person, not the residents here today. And we ask for representation from the residents of Egg Harbor Township. Finally, as noted, inconsistency with state planning policy. This area lies within Planning Area 5, which is environmentally sensitive zone, where development is discouraged. Ordinance 35 conflicts with New Jersey state plan and undermines the conservation goals. This plan will overload the area and be harmful to the environment as well as the ecosystem. In closing, I urge you, honor the law, protect the public trust rights, and prioritize resident safety, environmental stewardship. Ordinance 35 should not be passed and rejected outright. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I really liked it.
I read your letter. Very good.
Why don't you give it to me? I have 2 copies.
And I'll make sure they get to everybody.
And Mayor, I don't know if you have a procedure to follow. That's been entered. I don't know if you call it Kerwin 1 or anything like that, or you just note that it's been submitted. Is it? We'll just note that that was reseated. Okay, fair enough.
Ms. Michelle McLaughlin, and I'm also an Anchorage Point resident. I have lived there for 28 years, and I just love Anchorage Point. Our wetlands are home to such a diverse amount of wildlife. We have great blue herons, snowy egrets, mallard ducks, cranes, along with crab, mussels, oyster, clown beds. We are also a nesting ground for diamondback turpins. We're a nesting ground for geese. Like or not, geese are pollinators. We, through the years, we're blessed with visits from seals, stingrays, otters, and swans. This isn't just our backyard, it's a vital ecosystem that supports species that depend on the protected waters for survival. Construction and increased boat traffic would pollute the water. And I think about the pollution of the water. I think about that commercial we always see about Dawn, when you see the little duck taken out of the water and clean with the Dawn. That is what if you allow this massive 111 boat marina into our area, that is what's going to happen. We're going to have slick of the fuel from the boats. We're going to have noise pollution, and the noise pollution and the vibrations from the building, the constructions, the docking, the pilings, they're going to send our birds away. We're not going to see them. They're going to destroy their nesting and breeding patterns. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to live with that. I don't want to destroy our wetlands. And you're taking that from our children, too. You're robbing them of the future because, as everybody said, our kids are kayaking, they're paddle boarding, swimming. I mean, I swam for years in that water and enjoyed it. I swam in college, so I continue to swim in that water. That you're going to make that impossible, because even if you allow this to happen, if someone's trying to kayak, they're going to run you right over with all the boats, because again, there's only, as like our street, there's only one way in on the water and one way out. So all day long, it's going to go back and forth, back and forth. So I was also here in 2008. It took us 6 years to get that decision. So this is the second time for me. And you really need to put this project on hold until you really understand the 2008 decision. It's very strong, and it says exactly what Judge Nelson wanted for that area. So I'm begging you to put this on hold until you really understand what this is all about. Thank you.
Hello. So I am speaking on behalf of two people. So I'll start first with myself. So, good evening. My name is Joy Kerwin. You just heard from my sister. I live also on O'Brien Drive, and yeah, we look very similar. But I did want to share, I am speaking on behalf of residents of Anchorage Point and many of the community members who have signed our petition in opposition to the marina development. Anchorage Point, as you know, is a small waterfront neighborhood that has been existed peacefully alongside of protected wetlands for more than 60 years. These wetlands are not incidental. They are a foundation of our community, and they support the wildlife to protect our shoreline and provide a safe, natural environment for our families, children, and generations of the residents who live here. As you know, many of these residents have lived here a long time. Many are making this their retirement, and many are starting families that hope to share this house with their children in the future. But they choose to live here because of our ecosystem. Recently, an article in the Press of Atlantic City quoted saying that only 5 or 6 people were in opposition to this marina. That statement is simply inaccurate. As of today, our petition has over 1,000 signatures opposing this project and calling to protect these wetlands and oppose this marina. 82% are from the tri-state region, which many are residents of Anchorage Point, work and raise families, and have longstanding ties to this area. Over 63% of the signers are right within this area. This is not just a handful of voices, this is a broad regional opposition. The wetlands of Anchorage Point protect sensitive protected wildlife, as Michelle said. A marina bringing dredging, boat traffic, fuel runoff, noise, as you have heard, constant disruption would permanently damage this environment. As many of us are, we are not opposed to progress, but the progress must be responsible, transparent, and aligned with the values of the community. We are asking the Township Committee recognize the true level of public opposition and reject this development and consider alternatives that respect the environmental protection and the residents of Anchorage Point's homes and community that they have in. These wetlands define our neighborhood, and at a loss would be felt for generations and our families to come. I thank you for your time. And then I just did want to speak on behalf of Stephen and Susan McMahon. We are unable to attend the Township Committee meeting this evening and would like to go on record opposing Ordinance 35. Route 152 redevelopment plan. We would also like to go on record that we agree with all testimonies of our neighbors on Anchorage Point, as well as the legal counsel of any professional speaking on their behalf. And I also have a copy of the petition and all the signatures to go on record.
The minutes that we received that.
Jackie, God, every time I come up here, this thing is, okay. I live in Anchorage Point with the other residents. I'd just like to say that I echo what Doris said about the transparency and ethics, and I echo and agree with the other testimony of the residents that spoke tonight already. I'd like to just point out a procedural problem that I found relative to Resolution 489 and Ordinance 35. Resolution 49, dated October 15th, 2025, included O'Byrne Drive on it. There's a big red mark that outlines O'Byrne Drive within that resolution. There is a DCA letter dated November. Okay. Yeah. Okay. This is a big one. DCA letter, November 19th, 2025. Department of Community Affairs letter that did not approve O'Byrne Drive in the redevelopment. My understanding is anything not approved by the DCA would legally be, cannot legally be in the redevelopment plan. So I'd like to submit a couple exhibits. Exhibit 1 is Resolution 489. That's just for context, so you guys have the full resolution and the outlines. I'm not going to bring it up quite yet. Yeah, I'll turn it at the end. Yeah, I think it's important that it's on the record, though. Yeah, is there? Oh, thank you. That is super helpful. Somebody's water's here too. Okay, make sure I don't forget that. My understanding is that state authority controls the scope, right, of what can be done within that redevelopment plan. The DCA review is a state check, a mandatory state check, which was signed by the commissioner, Jacqueline Suarez. The township, within that letter, the township redevelopment area cannot expand based on what the DCA approved. They also referenced the PA5 area. Once the DCA declined to approve O'Byrne Drive, it appears that the township should have no authority to include it in the redevelopment plan. A procedural error, or additional procedural error I would like to point out is that the DCA letter was received on 10/24/25. I have the date and timestamp. That will be one of my exhibits. In the resolution 489, it states that the DCA received that letter on 10/21/25. I think it's important that we have the stamped date that the DCA actually received that letter because, of course, there's a time constraint, right? I think a 30-day time constraint. We want to make sure on the record that that this was received within that 30-day time frame. I believe it was based on my count. I formally request that the township amend the record to reflect the correct receipt date of Ordinance 35. Ironically enough, a redevelopment plan was issued on 11/20, almost immediately after 11/19/2025, where the letter from the DCA was received by Egg Harbor Township, or at least sent to Egg Harbor Township. I'm kind of surprised that we were able to create a redevelopment plan so quickly and also have public comment on 11/20/25, with a little time that I would have thought people had time to write that.
I'd like to read the DCA letter, and I don't know who does or doesn't have accessibility or copy. Well, I think this is really, I think it's really important, and actually, it says, the Honorable Laura Frommer, dated November 19, 2025, Resolution 489, determining Block 9401, Block 9402, Block 9603, we all know the lots and blocks. The Department of Community Affairs received the above referenced resolution on October 24th, 2024. The determination area is located in the PA5 environmentally sensitive planning area, which is not an area in which development or redevelopment is to be encouraged pursuant to state law or regulation. The determination therefore requires review pursuant to NJSA 48 12A65C. Based on our review, which recognizes existing development and sewer service availability on a small portion of the highway frontage part of this area, only that portion of that area previously developed and or located within an existing sewer service area is approved. Please ensure that any resulting redevelopment plan gives proper consideration to the environmental sensitivity and flood-prone nature of the area. The municipality or redevelopers may find the New Jersey Business Access Center, et cetera. It says that. I think it's really important that you guys pass this around and have a copy of it. If you think it's good.
What we'll probably do is we'll get a copy of everything that's been submitted tonight.
I also would like to submit the redevelopment. The community asset map that Keith Henderson and I discussed, and he updated at the DCA, reflecting exactly the area that is to be developed. There's 2 pages of it, but it shows clear. Bird Drive is not highlighted. Trying to go as quickly as possible here. Okay. Letter explicitly referenced PA5. It limits based on intensity and infrastructure expansion. I'd like to make one last point. I'll submit the other documentation as well. Residents are not opposed, residents of Anchorage Point are not opposed to bulkhead or riprap protection of O'Byrne Drive. We are opposed to public infrastructure being tied to a private marina. Fixes that serve a developer instead of the entire peninsula. Township interest in bulkheads only appeared when a marina was proposed after the 2008 judgment and previous to the 2008 judgment. And then 17 years later, the only time that Egg Harbor Township seemed to be interested in improving this bulkhead is with a marina project. Building a marina affects wetlands. Wetlands provide velocity wave buffering and flood protection from inlet surge. We do have a velocity coming from the east to the west because there is an inlet and there's obviously ocean out there. Marina construction causes wetland loss, dredging related erosion, and ongoing maintenance impacts. My request for this committee tonight is to redo Ordinance 35 to omit O'Byrne Drive, revise the plan, the redevelopment plan, to be congruent with what the DCA approved in this PA5 area. Submit a revised plan for proper review. And I would really like this township to set some time aside with the O'Byrne Drive residents so we can discuss what we can do to help that bulkhead. The township should be working with the residents, not a private developer,
to resolve a matter that doesn't really affect a private developer, with the exception of him putting his steps on the O'Byrne Drive right of way to be able to access his private marina. So that's everything I have for tonight. I will provide these exhibits for you, and I appreciate your consideration. Have a very Merry Christmas.
Hello, Nick Llanos. I'm a resident of Anchorage Point. I've spoken before here. Many of us have been coming and speaking here for 6 months now. I've spoken several times. Everybody else has too. We don't like to come here. We don't like to spend the night, spend the whole evening here. We don't enjoy it, but we have to because we're trying to protect our neighborhood that we love. I've been an Anchorage Point resident since 2019. I retired there. It's a great neighborhood. Please don't hurt it. We did not choose to live next to a huge marina. We were there first. There's reasons we chose Anchorage Point. We love it. People have already talked about the traffic, parking, public safety. I'm not going to get into that. The irreversible ecological damage. I have a vision of 100 boats pumping out their bilges into the lagoon. I own a boat. I know how it is. It's inevitable. Another thing that I find that bothers me about this, it doesn't benefit us. It doesn't benefit EHT. The developer is most likely going to get property tax relief. I don't know what the correct term is. For X number of years. We don't know. How many? 30. Is it 30? I don't know.
Nick, that's not.
Yeah, regardless of what the number is, this person comes in, builds a marina, and gets property tax breaks. Who has to make that up? All the rest of us EHT taxpayers, not just Anchorage Point, but across the board. That's not fair. Given the magnitude of this proposal, we residents deserve confidence that it is being evaluated independently, deliberately, and without pressure to accelerate approval. I was listening before when Ms. Dillies made the statement about political contributions, that the proposed developer for Anchorage Point has made significant contributions to the planner and an elected official. That's eye-opening. It's very disturbing. It might not be illegal, but just because it's not illegal doesn't mean it's right. It's whether it's improper or not, it has the appearance of impropriety, which is just as bad. And we lose faith in you guys. What I want to say to all of you committee members is please imagine that you and your families live in Anchorage Point while you are making decisions and casting votes. Put yourselves in our shoes. We're not against development. We're not against a restaurant and bar up there. But this huge marina being forced on us, most of us are against that. We don't want that. Yes, the area could be improved. There's other ways to do it. Sit down, work with us. We can get creative. There's a lot of brain power in this room. We could come up with other ways to repair that bulkhead or do whatever. But shoving a marina in there, that magnitude? No. In light of all this, including the letter from DCA that is not giving approval for the marina, if I understand it correctly, I implore you to vote no tonight. Send this back to the planning board and to the developer and come back with a compromise that we can all live with. We're not hardliners. We want something fair. Thank you.
I'm back up again, Pete Castellano, Egg Harbor Township, and I'll be brief. I'd like to recommend also that this ordinance be held and reworked. Because, as you've heard, I don't believe it benefits Egg Harbor Township. I visited the area. A marina is not going to fit in there without doing damage to the water and the land. And as you've heard, the environmental concerns that go with that. The residents clearly don't want it. I mean, this is their homes, and I think we have to respect that. I reread it again today just to be sure I had it accurately. The plan allows for up to a 30-year tax abatement. So that's a concern for me.
That won't happen, period.
We've never done a 30-year.
Understood. You know, I'm just pointing out that's, you know, it's there. It's right in there. Yes. So, and I also just want to briefly reference the legal issues that were talked about that were decided back in 2008, were that the folks who live on O'Byrne Drive have what's known as riparian rights to access that water without having something come in between them. So that's a significant issue as well. So I always like to approach things, if you're going to point out a problem, to have a solution. Again, I'm here to help. So I want to make a suggestion that this be reworked to really concentrate on doing two very important things. The first is to repair that bulkhead. We all agree that bulkhead needs to be repaired. I understand it may require a seawall, but in the context of a redevelopment plan, we could apply for grants and get assistance to get that done. We need to do that to protect the residents there, the infrastructure that's there, the water, the sewer, and all of it. And the second focus, the second focus area is, let's try to attract a quality, rateable property to replace the barbecue. You know, and something without, you know, a long-term sort of an abatement. And I think that's something we would all get behind. No one wants to see an empty business sitting there. So my suggestion would be, let's focus it down on those two issues, which have to be done and we could all agree on. And with that, I want to wish everyone Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and Happy New Year, and thank you for listening to me twice.
Hi, my name is Melody Lapatina. I am actually a neighbor. I live in Summers Point. I'm here because of the marina that they choose to put in over at Anchorage Point. I'm also a boater that has been at Grace Marina for 21 years, going into my 22nd year at the marina. Is now called Boat Marina. At one time, the gentleman across the canal from me, he was trying to buy the marina. He didn't buy the marina, someone else bought the marina. This past year, I have seen so many things with wildlife that has come to the corner of the canal coming in that has never been there before. If everybody knows Ocean City, they have the wildlife over there in the trees. Well, now they're starting to populate in the corner over there. So what I see in the paper of this approval for this marina, it's not going to be good for the environment. It's not going to be good for the turtles and for everything else that goes in the marshes. As a casino employee of 41 years traveling that road, it's an extremely, extremely bad road for a lot of reasons. And it's become worse to where there's bumper-to-bumper traffic last summer all the way past up to Seaview. That's how bad it is. So I'm hoping that you all consider what everybody else wants in Anchorage Point, and that you can put a restaurant there. The marina is a big thing. And there's places over in Summers Point that haven't even been rebuilt yet, which used to be Bayshore. If he wanted to put a marina, he could put one over there. So to put one in Anchorage Point, I think it's a very bad thing to do. And I appreciate you hearing me. Thank you. Good evening. My name is Robin Bohm, and I live on Neptune Drive in Anchorage Point. I've been a full-time resident there for 6 years, but we've owned this property for 10. If any of you haven't been there, please take a ride. We have the most gorgeous sunsets, the most beautiful sunrises, and snow on the back bay is breathtaking. My concerns with this project are the size and magnitude of the plans and the space we have to give. If it goes through as is, it will totally change the climate of our little piece of heaven here on earth. The traffic at the intersection to pull in and out is already difficult and treacherous in the summer without a light. So that will be magnified not only by car traffic, but probably some boat and trailer traffic as well. The challenges of emergency vehicles entering, because as I read the plans, the restaurant is to seat 175 guests, both inside and out, and there are slated to be 79 marina slips. So when you do the math of even 1 or 2 cars per marina slip and do the math for the restaurant, there is not anywhere near adequate parking with the 39 slots that are slated on the lot to the right when you pull in on Anchorage Drive. So that's 39. I believe there are another 16 or 17 in front of the restaurant, and then the additional ones that were slated for Auburn Drive. You can just imagine then the overflow onto the other Point Drive. It's going to be a traffic nightmare. The ability for emergency vehicles to enter, and God forbid a fire truck would need to get through, you're going to have people who are going to park their cars, get on a boat, and leave. It's not like someone can come out and move a car. We are far from the main property of Egg Harbor Township, so we feel a little isolated anyway. So my concerns are safety, the safety of our residents, and the fact that this will totally change the climate of a community that drew all of us that are here tonight there for its pristine waters, its wildlife, and just a very calm, serene beach and bay environment that really soothes the soul. So I ask you to please put a hold on this project as it's currently slated and work your magic to do some sort of a rework. I mean, the schematics are beautiful. The restaurant schematic of the jetty looks great. We're not opposed to improving the property, which will increase our property value, but it has to be in proportion to what we have to offer. So thank you all very much.
Chad Myers, Forest Viewport, EHT. Thank you for your service, everybody. I would like to request that as you consider any tax abatements, whether it's 5 years or 30 years, our schools need funding. We need to have some of that support to the students and the community, as opposed to just helping subsidize developers. Thank you very much.
I'm John May. I live in Anchorage Point. I've lived there my aunt originally bought the house in 1960, brand new. So I've been in this house for 60 years, 50 years. I've seen the township do some pretty strange things. They broke the bulkhead because it was starting to wash out, and they decided they were going to drop curb to keep it in, and they broke the bulkhead. The bulkhead, there was money, I think in the late 60s, early 70s, there was money for a bulkhead to be put out there. Instead, the council built a baseball field in Cardiff. This project is too big, and like everybody else has said, it's too big. I mean, it's a beautiful project, but it's going to destroy that neighborhood. And and it's going to destroy the wildlife. We have seals. I've seen dolphins come in the lagoon. My wife, crabs. We eat the crabs. We catch the fish in the bay. We stuff the crabs into the fish. She says, "You want to get some clams?" I walk out front, step over the riprap.
I go clamming. I come back, yeah, we got clams for dinner. The boats are going to pollute it, especially the little jet skis that don't pay attention to anything like a no wake sign. And then, you mix a little alcohol with a jet ski or a powerful boat, you got big problems. That's all I have to say.
Hi, good evening. My name's Allison Berto. I am a Summers Point resident. I live within walking distance of the Anchorage Point community and EHT's boundaries. Forgive me for looking at my phone. My talking points are on my device. So I want to point out that one concern I have is that there are several other developments that are happening within the same stretch of coastline that would have been overseen through the neighboring municipalities, Summers Point, a pool club on Bay Ave, as well as single-family homes that are along Maryland Ave as it connects to Route 152. I'm concerned that these projects are all being reviewed in silos and not collective consideration to how they will all together impact the marina, the marshland there. So I'm going to underscore, in a way, a lot of the points that my neighbors made. So one thing to consider is that this type of marshland is considered one of the most valuable types of marshland in the eastern United States. It's partly because it specifically supports specific species that are on the federal wildlife endangerment list, and some of those plant and animal species can only exist in this specific type of tidal marsh. Putting a marina in will make pollution levels soar in this water. This will have an immediate impact on the folks who fish and crab there and the people who eat their fish and crabs. It will also have a cascading impact on residents and visitors and their health and wellness, because over time, that pollution will have an impact on our water systems and other public utilities, as one of my neighbors described earlier, for different development projects. So the specifics of that impact on on human life and our health and wellness will likely not be realized or apparent to us for many, many years, as often the impact of natural resources aren't seen in our own symptoms for some time. I'm also concerned about the flood risk that this project would create for the nearby neighbors in Anchorage Point and also along Summers Point nearby roads. This is an important throughway for both economic purposes with the tourist season and also for safety purposes. We need to make sure that our public safety first responders have access to this community. The marshland is a sponge that literally soaks up floodwater, and destroying it will potentially lead to more localized flooding. Also, in relation to the flooding, creating this type of project will require dredging to occur regularly, likely every few years for the rest of time, just to maintain the facility. Depending on the hydroponics and the final construction design, that could be even more frequent. This is a huge recurring expense to taxpayers. It would also have an immediate impact on the nearby neighbors, as that work would affect their day-to-day lives. I'm also concerned about the accessory needs that these facilities would bring, like the parking lots and signage and the increase in traffic, as the beautiful waterfront view could potentially be reshaped into a strip mall. I also want to implore the committee to take a close review of this project to make sure that it is in line and in compliance with all laws that govern development in the wetlands in New Jersey. And I also want to underscore that many of the redevelopment goals that were listed in the actual Route 152 redevelopment plan included things that should be listed as preeminent, the most important goals of this project. That is protecting the safety of the nearby public residents, their properties in the community, protecting the public utilities that service those residents, and taking action to reduce flood risk on the roadways to maintain safe access for the community. Thanks. Happy holidays.
We need to take a break for about 3 minutes.
I know, 3 minutes, I'm sorry, but we'll be right back in 3 minutes. We need to take just 3 minutes. With apologies.
I'm gonna run out of time
Yep.
if we keep this up.
Yeah.
It's called old age.
Is that what 40 is?
That's what 40 is.
40 doctors have never had them.
I think we need to have Tom weigh in, this is all.
Well, the thing is, I mean, what's the rest of we should do? If you don't take a vote on it, you bring it up again.
It's gonna be the same
I mean, I know, but you got this.
I think we send it to the planning board and like live it down there.
Yeah.
She can fight it.
Many issues that they're bringing up, that, are they clear or precise?
Well, that's a big issue.
And I know there's lawsuits out there.
But the trouble is, this isn't where we get it.
Oh, I know. They don't understand that. They think this is going to stop it. They ain't stopping shit. I'm going to say that when I vote, and we'll see it's stopping nothing.
It's fine. You got him on time.
No, let me, I'm going to double check. Maybe a half, 8:30. Hughes was asleep. Hughes. Oh, I know. Ray called the timeout?
He called a timeout. He said, I gotta use the bathroom.
Yeah.
Most municipalities.
It's so nice because normally I don't have to eat. I'm out of here before 7.
No, you're good. I was telling you that. No, she should have him paused. Hopefully.
The educational. Very educational. AI thing? It's an AI data center.
32 acres.
Yeah, it's huge. 200-300 people supposed to be there.
337 generators.
Oh yeah. It's going to be huge. You know where it should go? Hamilton Mall. Everything's there. You didn't even have to. It's got all the freaking cooling. The cooling system is the coolers out there. As soon as this guy's back. Ready? Ready. Here comes Paul. It is Manny. He might have to come and see.
He's late to the party.
No, he's been there.
I personally believe that these data centers are they were like sliding these in there on the low real quietly. And all of a sudden, last year or two, everybody woke up to it.
No, they're out
And
there.
it's like they consume.
Yep.
Talking about the AI.
Yeah.
It's everything out.
Hamilton Mall.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your patience. Sometimes time takes over. So, sir, you're up.
Brief, I promise. My name's Al Murray. I'm the Vice President, South Jersey Yacht Sales. We're headquartered in Summers Point. We also have a fairly large facility on Ocean Heights Avenue. Marine Service storage. We operate Chart House Marine Electronics out of that property as well. I had no intentions of attending the meeting. I have no affiliation to the developer whatsoever. He is a neighbor in Summers Point. This I can tell you, as far as marina operators go, they operate some of the finest, cleanest facilities in the state. When I look at the project and, you hear this is an overwhelming marina and it's huge and it's massive, 110 slip marina is not. And it's not 110 permanent slips. They're transient slips as part of that count from what I read. And actually, I'll be honest with you, I only looked at the project over the last couple of days. No one asked me to come here tonight, but I thought at least I could perhaps educate people on, what an operation like that looks like. By example, our marina in Summers Point, although it is smaller than that, on an average weekend, not even an average day, but an average weekend, just say a nice sunny Sunday in June or July, at best we may have 50% of our clients in the marina at any given time. Generally, it's less than that. And keep in mind, it's only for half a year. So, we did a project on Summers Point recently where we tore down what we considered to be an eyesore after acquiring the property. And we went in for a major site plan proposal. And of course, like any project like that, we had neighbors that were concerned and weren't necessarily happy. We worked to address all the concerns that the neighbors had. And today, I'm sure if you polled our neighbors, they would all tell you, hey, it was a good thing. That, they took, not unlike what we're dealing with tonight, a dilapidated facility and converted it into something beautiful. So, I just wanted to share that. If anyone had any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. But I just thought, obviously I'm in the minority here tonight, so I just wanted to share that with everyone. Thank you.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Fred Basil. I've been here before, I talked with you, and I see that we're at the point now where we have not considered all the factors with this regards to this marina and restaurant. And as I stated originally, a restaurant can't get around that. It's there, it's been there. There's never been a marina on that property. If anybody here sitting here on this board thinks that there was a marina there sometime in the past, it was not. Wasn't there. Lived there since 1963, a year after 62 storm. So I've kind of seen all the storms. I mean, I live on the point, so I get the brunt of the storms. And I had told you people before that when you got the money for the Sandy, you put most of it up at Seaview Harbor, and you came down. And I know this because Mr. Miller was the engineer on the job. He was your township engineer at that time. Cut the road down 1 foot in front of my house. How does that stop flooding? Do you know what it does now? It floods faster now. But that's just that. I guess my main concern, as it was before, when we were fighting the project with Mr. Daggett and the Daggett brothers, was the safety of the community, which has been expounded many times here tonight, and the traffic. The traffic is going to be no getting away from the traffic. If you don't come out to that neighborhood, and if only 3 of you came out, every one of you should be out there. Walk around the neighborhood. Look at what's going on. Then you'll understand it. You can't sit in a chair and say, oh, well, at Anchorage Point, I'm going to vote to have a marina. It doesn't work that way. The people there have a way of life that is very nice, peaceful, and they don't want to be bothered. They're inside themselves. Almost everybody knows everybody. There's really no hard cases, so we have a good time. I mean, we used to sponsor a party on the end of our yard, and Memorial Day and Labor Day. Would get permission from the township to block off the end of the street, and everybody in the neighborhood would come down, and horseshoes, volleyball, whatever went on, cooking. You can't do that anymore. I'm not expecting that. What I'm expecting is to be able to, when I go pull into my area, not have cars and people walking around trying to get on boats, get off boats. It's just going to be a mess. The 152 route, that's a real concern. Even today, going out today, in the middle of the day, to go out to the store, to the post office, 12 cars I had to wait for. 3 this way. Take that to the summertime. Take that when the cars are backed up from Bay Avenue all the way to the bridge. The bridge that burnt down, remember when it was made of wood? And the lady with yeah. Well, I got the pilings around my house because I knew Bud's tire.
They were welding, weren't they?
They were welding.
Okay.
And the son and the mother drove on the bridge. He got off. Take his mother with him, but you know. But anyway, so that's what I'm concerned about. And I would really ask you to consider that fact. I mean, we did just a little survey. 30 people out of the 40 houses there are not for a marina. The majority of the people that spoke tonight, I don't think you heard any of them say anything about not having a restaurant. I think that might be a good addition to that. And I would think that it's also be a good idea to explore this just a little bit more. You got barges sitting out in the middle of that lagoon. Now, who the heck wants that? Are they going to start dredging right away? That sort of seems like it. Sort of seems like we're moving along, but you're not doing anything right for the people by having that marina put in there. I don't care what anybody says. Person in Summers Point on Bay Avenue, we've always lived with marinas on Bay Avenue. I'm familiar with that. And guess what? When they pull the boat out, you got to stop, and then you got to wait for them to back the boat out. Yeah. Well, just take that over to the residential area. Think about boats on trailers pulling into that area. And they say that they're going to allow for a ramp there. So that means boats with trailers are going to pull into this area. Well, you're coming off of Longport Boulevard. It's going to be fun, especially if there's no traffic light. So I thank you very much, and you all have a good holidays and a Happy New Year.
Hi, my name's Chrissy Hawks. I don't live at Anchorage Point. I do spend time in the water. I've been a volunteer with an environmental group for, I guess, 20 years now. I find it difficult to believe that the environment would not be severely impacted by this project. I hate the thought of what would happen to the creatures, the water, the pollution just from the added marine craft would be devastating. So I ask you to please not let this happen, especially for those people that live there. Thanks.
Name's Chuck Weimer. I'm also an Anchorage Point resident. Basically, at the risk of my safety, I am not opposed to the project. Maybe it needs to be tweaked a little. I do understand the concerns of Auburn Drive residents, certainly impacted harder on Point Drive. But the blight out front is an issue. I've lived there long enough to see boat trailers, broken down boats, construction equipment, old jet skis, all out there. Barbecue pit. They even had a campground there at one point, and even a Mississippi paddle boat. So I've seen that it's been cleaned up to some extent. So to have that entrance look nice when you arrive in the point, it's a beautiful community, would be a priority to me anyway. And I know a lot of residents. There's a lot of people here tonight, but keep in mind that there's probably over 50 residents in Anchorage Point. When you put the townhomes, they are part of Anchorage Point. So there is a bigger community. So when people refer to the residents of Anchorage Point, it can't be limited to everybody. It can't be open to everybody. So I just want to make that a point. The one thing I did want to bring up, though, and I heard a lot of it tonight, and it's a real problem, as everybody said. It could be on a Saturday in July. It can take you 15 minutes to make a left onto the causeway. I don't know. Peter years ago tried to get a light there. Unfortunately, the state did the traffic test at March. So it didn't work very well for us. So I think you can't do all that until you have a solution. We'll never get out of there. It won't be safe. As many people said, emergency vehicles won't be able to get in. We won't be able to get out if something happens. And I don't know what it would take to get a light, but I know Seaview Harbor has a great situation. And it would be something like that I would encourage. But that's about all I had. I just wanted to say something. So thank you.
Anybody else? Hey, you're all neighbors in here, right?
No, he's really my neighbor. That's good. Say, Joe.
Joe Leonard, Anchorage Point, EHT.
Just to jump on what Chuck just said, I'm for the project. I know there's pros and cons to everything, but clean up the front end coming in, and we're all looking forward to that, I would say. Traffic is horrendous. They have to look at it in the summertime, not the wintertime or the spring. And I guess that's about it. Thank you.
Hi, Christian Del Calo, 14 Point Drive, Anchorage Point. I listened to everyone's commentary. I don't think anyone has more children or more boats than I, or drives a fire truck around that neighborhood like me. I support the marina. I knew also when my wife and I purchased the property in Anchorage Point, who owned that land, and I knew something would happen in the future, whether it be Daggett or anyone else. So I did the research. But I also learned through my experience on Point Drive that dredging revitalizes the ecosystem. And that's kind of important. So when we first visited and we moved in, there was very little crabbing, very little minnows, bait fish, and then we dredged. I'm not interested, and I know the plan doesn't call for wetland redevelopment. It's redeveloping what's there that's already been developed at one point in time. In fact, the water runoff from the highway into the asphalt and concrete millings that is the ramp now does more damage to the ecosystem than what's proposed. So I think maybe more education needs to happen. But when we dredged our lagoon, we could crab. We're still crabbing. We're still fishing. So I think there may need to be more education, but I'm in support of it. Good luck. It's going to be tough.
Thank you.
A nice fire truck. I saw it in the neighborhood.
You want to ride?
I'm already taking a ride.
Hi, how are you? My name is Jim McKenna. I represent the condominium portion of Anchorage Point. I've got 9 letters from homeowners. There's 16 units. I got 9 who are in favor of the project. I've listened tonight to what people say, and so many good points have been made. So many good points and so many valid points, and I agree with. And I agree with Chuck too. Things maybe need to be tweaked a little bit. Take a look at it. But first of all, before I forget to say it, whether this is approved or not, a traffic light needs to go in, period, end of story. And I know it's a state thing, but we need your help to get the traffic light there, because like I said, in July, you can't even get out of there. It took me 10 minutes to get out of there tonight. So we need your help with that. But as far as, for a lot of people said, and I agree with a lot of what people say, but I do think the project is good. There's a couple of things that weren't said, though, tonight about this. First of all, this is a man-made lagoon that we're talking about. This is not something that is there by nature. It's man-made. And at 2 hours before low tide, you can literally walk across it. Okay, so that's, to your point, you're not getting the wildlife in the lagoon because you can't be in it. There's no water in it. There's a sunken 40-foot vessel that's been stuck in there for about 12 years, from what I understand. Nobody's ever talked about that. Nobody's ever complained about how much fuel is in the tank of that vessel. Nobody's ever talked about how much septic is in that vessel. Nobody's ever talked about how much oil is in the crankcase of that vessel. It's just, it stays there. Nobody brought that up. The bulkhead there is deplorable, but I can't see public funding of $1,000 a foot to replace the bulkhead. I don't think that's, I wish it could. I wish you guys said you will make that happen. It's not going to happen. So it has to be done. It has to be done privately. And somebody mentioned the lagoons too, that it's a taxpayer's thing. You do not pay for the lagoon to be dredged. Okay, we own the lagoon on our side, and the developer is going to own the lagoon on his side. He just happens to own a dredging company, so he's going to make sure it's dredged. So there's no worries about that, okay? But again, I just want to represent the rest of the condo, and this is the letters. This is the letters.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? Say none. Oh, come on down.
I'm James McKenna. I got home yesterday from college, so I don't know much about the topic, but I grew up with Sean Scarborough's son. I know him very well. Great family. A lot of good points. I agree. Like, the traffic is horrible. Like, even coming out of here today was terrible. Like, the points of crabbing and all that stuff, yeah, it's great. And then it's very two-sided, though. One of our neighbors just got called in for crabbing the other day, so it's like kind of hypocritical, if you ask me. The bilge pump point's not bad. I worked for Sean Scarborough for so long. At his other marina, and nobody's ever dumped their waste in the water, so that's not true at all. It's also illegal to do that. I've never want to see that happen. So the restaurant's good. I like that, but there's going to be a lot of traffic coming with that, and parking is an issue. There should be parking in front of these people's homes, without a doubt. I don't know about the town breaking the bulkhead. I heard somebody say that earlier. I don't know anything about that, but nobody's done anything in the past to fix that, so I don't know what you're concerned about now. The taxes probably would go up if you wanted a new bulkhead anyway, so I don't know why you're concerned about that too. And there's the whole fishing pier down the road that is also like a really bad part too, so nobody's concerned about that either. I don't really know why it's not a concern now if everything else is. So, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, can I have a motion to close the public portion?
We have a second, right? Roll call, please.
This
is to close. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Before we do the motion to adopt, Tom, can you give us what we need to know on this? Jen, you might as well come on down.
And Heller Palestina and Associates. Thank you. Do you want to start, Tom? Okay. All right, so I do want to clarify a couple things and a couple statements that were made tonight. The redevelopment plan includes the standard language from the local housing and redevelopment law in regards to the tools that could be used for redevelopment. It is in no way setting forth any kind of tax abatement for anybody through this redevelopment plan. That gets done through the redevelopment agreement, which is the next step for any redevelopment project. It's not the plan's purpose to set forth the tax breaks, incentives, pilots, anything like that. That's going to be the redevelopment agreement that's between the governing body and the developer. Any development in this area is subject to DEP review. And that is also part of with the DCA's letter, it identifies the area that is a PA5. The entire neighborhood is in a PA5. And development is subject to a CAFR permit. The redevelopment plan cannot change or supersede any DEP rules. The redevelopment plan is just that. It's just zoning. And with regard to the DCA letter, in the event that a CAFR permit is obtained, that's why those areas, the sensitive areas, are not included in the redevelopment area because they're still subject to CAFR rules and regulations. O'Byrne Drive is a public right-of-way, so something to keep in mind. And your infrastructure is located within the public right-of-way. The bulkhead is there that's deteriorating, but it is intended to be reconstructed as part of this plan, and that will protect properties along O'Byrne Drive as well as the rest of the neighborhood. Also, another statement that was made tonight, there are no boat ramps as part of this project. So no one's bringing in a boat on a trailer and dropping it there and then parking their trailer on a public street. There are no boat ramps. This is, you pull up, you bring your boat from somewhere else that you've put it in the water. And that is, those are some of the statements that I just wanted to put on the record to clarify. So as with any redevelopment plan, the first step is approving the redevelopment plan, entering into a redevelopment agreement with the developer, and then they come back in for site plan approval. So at the time of site plan approval, things like all of those listed permitted uses and the parking will have been worked out by then. They have to come in with a compliant site plan based on the zoning set forth in the redevelopment plan. So this is not an approval of any site plan. It is not an approval of the conceptual plan that is contained within the redevelopment plan. It is just setting forth the zoning for a developer who enters into a redevelopment agreement with the township to utilize.
Clarify something for me. This property is already zoned for marina, correct?
Correct. This property, this whole area is in CRW. Marinas are a permitted use in this zoning district, subject to the marine commercial zoning standards.
So this developer would meet all standards that are on the books for right now, for zoning standards. He could do this marina and restaurant.
Correct.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So the redevelopment plan, the purpose of the redevelopment plan is to require the shared parking analysis for the uses, and it also, it will set forth the setbacks for the existing structure. So then, in this case, it would be, they would come in with no variances. But if they came in tomorrow, submitted an application to the planning board, it would be required for the existing nonconformities for the restaurant and for the other improvements, and they could construct a marina per our ordinance.
And during the planning process, the plan can be dissected at the planning board level.
So that's when the site plan.
Right, the site plan approval.
Right, will still
Yeah.
be reviewed by the planning board. Again, this redevelopment plan is not an approval of any plan. It is setting forth the zoning that a developer has to follow in order to make their project work.
From there, the next step is the redevelopment agreement with a developer, potential developer.
And just for the public's knowledge, the vote tonight.
On what? Just on the zoning.
Right, no tax abatements, no pilots, just the zoning.
Just the zoning for the property.
Correct.
And that's it.
Right.
It's not, no approvals for a marina, none of that, it's just on the zone.
Right.
Anybody else have any questions?
So Jen, this is part of the redevelopment plan that was created in 2017, which included Seaview Harbor, West Atlantic City, and Anchorage Point.
You mean the master plan?
The master plan, excuse me.
Right, so one of the components of the master plan describe the resiliency for areas such as Anchorage Point, Seaview Harbor, and, right. So one of the goals of the master plan
This
is
new for that, this has been out there since 17. Of redevelopments of these three areas.
right. So that and improving the resiliency through bulkheads, other means to protect your shoreline and to protect your properties.
Anybody else?
I have a few questions, if you don't mind. Thanks. Bulkhead that we've been talking about. Infrastructure on this board interests me more than the details of the bulkhead fails and the integrity of O'Byrne Drive is compromised. How much would that roughly cost us as a municipality to fix?
Roadway or the sewer infrastructure that's contained within it? You're over millions of dollars, correct, Bob?
Correct. Yeah.
That bulkhead right now doesn't do.
Agree. I saw it. More than three of us were out there just to address some of the other folks. But for the purposes of tonight, I want to understand what it would cost me as a township.
The existing road out there right now has water, sewer. I don't believe they have, maybe gas as well. So every utility is inside that right of way, that roadway. So, Sandy did damage the roadway considerably out on the point more than the lagoon due to the wave action and everything. Will another storm make it worse along there? It possibly could.
Impassable, essentially.
Correct. And if the road starts to cave in, we have to build back the road, which could be, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And to put in a new bulkhead, it's roughly about $1,000 a foot.
That's what I heard earlier.
You're talking about a $4 million project to go bulkhead all the way around to the point.
Versus private developer for us.
Up to a certain point, it would be roughly half.
It's approximately 700 feet of bulkhead.
And Bob, you talk about the road and the bulkhead. We lose utilities, sewer lines and everything. You're talking way more than.
Yeah, it all depends how deep and how much caves in. You can't speculate that.
I'm saying rebuilding the roadway itself, but I know you're trying to, but to say everything fails is like cash. Like you're talking, then you're looking at FEMA money, and it's a whole different story. Like I can't say that, but if the road is,
so how do we pay for the project?
You put coffers away every year through your capital improvement projects to pay for this, which is taxpayer money. So if you want to start putting money away to build this bulkhead and get the funding, get the permitting, it's going to take about a 4-year project to put out $500,000 for every year.
So, okay, one of the other things that I was curious about, what is the, roughly, again, what percentage of the overall property is being proposed to be developed?
Existing parking lot?
My understanding is this property extends way out to the water in protected, unbuildable, not going to touch it ever. And I don't know, are we talking 10% of the property? Are we talking 1%? Are we talking?
Yeah. So that large block 9603 lot 2 is the 244 acre parcel. You can't build on wetlands. The DEP is never going to allow a developer or anybody to construct anything on those wetlands. There is no development proposed on the wetlands. The development that is proposed is on the existing restaurant site, on the existing parking lot across Anchorage Drive site, and the bulkhead, and within the water lagoon area. Right.
And last thing, am I correct in thinking?
Barge is gone.
It's gone.
The sailboat, yeah. Right. So the developer would be responsible for cleaning up the property. Again, they're proposing to renovate that restaurant building. They're not going to leave trash and old boats within their property.
Appreciate it, Jim. Again,
There is no plan yet to be voted on in regards to a site plan.
Right.
So with all those details, and apologies, you're all going to have to come back out to the planning board meeting to really see the details of this project, because right now it's just a concept plan. I know people said there's stuff at New Jersey DEP. It's still not in front of the site plan for planning board approval yet, if it gets approved at this meeting. So just want everybody to know it's not getting developed yet. And there's another approval process that's very detailed again.
Approvals for zoning only.
Correct.
Right. And the redevelopment plan, concept plan is included in this plan is just that, a concept plan. So that anybody who enters into a redevelopment agreement with the township is going to have to construct something similar to, it doesn't have to be exact, but it has to be similar to, meaning they can't come in and put a hotel up. They can't deviate much from that concept plan. Otherwise, we're back here again, amending the redevelopment plan to allow other uses.
All right. So
The next step is we have a motion to adopt ordinance number 35. Do I have a motion for that?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
No. I'm reluctant to vote yes because of all the issues that were brought up. I think have to be thoroughly decided, whether it's DEP, lawsuits that were filed before, and I'm a no.
That's a no.
Yes.
Pauls.
Yes.
I'm sorry, that's you're supposed to do that. Rosenberg?
Yes.
And Firmer.
I am a yes on this because this is not the final product here. What we need to do is we have to look out for a lot of things, including all the residents of Egg Harbor Township. Our concern is a $5 million storm could come through to this area and hurt it bad. We need to make sure that our infrastructure is strong. We have a bulkhead there, but we also need to know that this developer is going to do things right by the people of that neighborhood. And I think that's our next step. This is not approving anything other than the zoning, but I think our next step, each step is critically important. And I have a list of everybody's concerns tonight. And there's quite a few, especially some of the environmental ones, that we need answers to. So I think we're going to go from there, but I vote yes. So we have a resolution and consent calendar. Now, we're going to do something. Oh, we have, oh, it is. We have Resolution 557, authorizing the release of the executive session minutes. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
There.
Yes.
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 Yeah. Now, Resolution 558 appoints a new clerk. Now, we will honor her on the reorg night. However, Ms. Janice Hughes, please stand up, Janice, has done an outstanding job for this town. He told me. He told me. But you have been here most of your life. And you know this township inside and out.
From a high school student.
From a high school student. And we all know that you are going to be an outstanding clerk. And just can't wait to see what good you do. And that office does. It's been in good stewardship, and it's being handed over to you. And we are so looking forward to what you do. I know you're going to yell at me for doing this, but I know, ladies and gentlemen that are here, Ms. Janice Hughes is outstanding. And we are very proud of her and very proud that she works for Egg Harbor Township.
If she passes the vote here.
All right, that's true. We do have to we're going to take that vote separate. So can we have Resolution 558 appointing Janice Hughes as the municipal court clerk for the Township of Egg Harbor for a 3-year term, effective January 1, 2026. Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Roll call. Can we do a roll call on this one just for the fun of it? Ellis, yes or no?
Oh, yes.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
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 Absolutely, yes. Okay.
Can I say something?
Absolutely.
Okay, I have it written down. So, anyway, Janice and I have worked together for more than 30 years.
Good part of those years, she was my deputy. And, during that time, Janice has been my right hand, my sounding board, my keeper of secrets, my calm voice reminding me that everything was going to be okay, even when I definitely didn't feel that way. Please bring me down off that shelf, Janice. Talk me down. After all these years, we've reached the point where we can look at each other across the room and know exactly what the other is thinking, sometimes without wanting to say it out loud. Janice knows this job inside and out. I'm leaving the office in incredibly capable hands.
And I'm going to go down for their success. So Janice, thank you for your friendship
your loyalty, and for always being there professionally and personally. And the township is lucky to have you, and I'm lucky to call you my friend.
I bet you say that to all your friends.
Listen, change is hard, but you know, this one actually could be. So, congratulations. And that was really good, Eileen. It was like, oh, it's a heck of a night.
Iced tea.
Okay, so we have the rest of our resolution and consent calendar. Resolutions, and just for the record, we have 3 amended, which is 562, 578, and 579. They have been amended, and they're on the online, it's already changed, correct? All right. Very good. Can I have a motion for 559 through and including 580?
I make a motion.
Roll call, please.
Ellis.
Yes.
Austin.
Yes.
Paul.
Yes.
Rosenberg.
Yes, with the exception. 563, would you please mark my abstention?
Okay.
Over.
Yes. So.
We have resolution, we have the bill list for 581, authorizing payment of all bills pursuant to the attached. Can I have a motion to pay the bills? Roll call, please.
Ellis.
Yes.
Austin.
Yes.
Paul.
Yes.
Rosenberg.
Yes.
And
Yes. We've got some approvals. Can I have a motion to approve the payroll for the month of November 2025 in the amount of $1,684,506.79?
So moved.
All in favor? Aye. Can I have a motion to approve the departmental reports for the month of November 2025?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Can I have a motion to approve the November 25th, 2025 Township Committee meeting minutes?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Can I have a motion to approve the Township Committee November 25th, 2025 closed session meeting minutes? Can I have a motion? Thank you. Can I have a second?
Yes.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye. All right, is there anyone else in the public that would like to address the governing body on anything?
Good.
Jill Campbell, Egg Harbor Township. I don't need this. Okay, no problem. So I'm just going to reiterate, every time you guys approve something, you're making more students come into the schools. The schools are overwhelmed. So I'm going to say that. The other thing that I have a question about, I was looking at your advertisements. So you're definitely going to need more police with all this redevelopment and everything that you guys are approving. And I just am curious why police starting salaries are lower than EMTs. I don't understand why. I'm going to tell you that the government, their main concern and main job is to make sure that we are protected, and that starts with police. I understand about collective bargaining. I'm a teacher. I'm in collective bargaining too. Do the research, figure it out, and next meeting, let me know. Okay, even better. You have my number. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And happy holidays. Same to you. Anyone else? Seeing none, can I have a motion to close the public portion? Thank you. Township Committee reports. And before we do that, I would like to say something to Mr. Rosenberg. Uh-oh.
I kept my mouth shut this week.
He's been really good this week. But, you know, it's been an honor and a privilege to work with you, Paul. Your planning and zoning knowledge has been invaluable to so many of us up here because you've been doing this for so many years. So you understand the law, you understand strategy, you understand why things happen the way they do. Doesn't mean you agree with them all, but you understand it, and that is invaluable to us, and I appreciate that. I also appreciate your support on things that we need, when we need to push different things or explain to the public what's going on. You've been outstanding with that, and I appreciate your friendship more than any of it. So thank you for everything you've done for us. I greatly appreciate every bit of it.
That last part meant the most.
Anybody else?
Been good working with you. Now, thanks for working with us. Good luck, Paul. You know how I feel about you. And I'm really in a jam with time.
We're almost
So,
So,
I got to get home.
Yeah.
For
Paul,
various
thank you
reasons.
for serving. Did a great job. Good campaign.
Thank you for service. Like you said, but your knowledge is unbelievable. Like you said, playing in the zone.
thank you. So, Mr. Rosenberg, it's your turn.
Sometimes going first, not the most fun, but sometimes going first means you get to say what everybody else is going to say. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays to everybody that's here. Mayor, what you said there was very touching. And everybody be safe, everybody be merry, and thank you very much for allowing me the honor to have been part of this governing body and the township that I love so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Pauls.
I had a list, but I'm going to cut it short. I wanted to talk about the 9/11 dispatch meeting I went to with the county. That was very interesting. I will say something the next meeting. I attended the planning board meeting for you. That was very interesting. We had good conversations with people that were here. Just want to clear for the record, we're hearing that a lot of people from this bench didn't go out there. There was a lot of us that went out there.
I think every one of us.
And we spent a lot of time out there looking at this. And there's a lot of pieces to that puzzle when you look at it. So just for the record, we did attend out there many times. That's my report.
Very good. Mr. Hodson.
I look at what Will said. I went out there with Ray. I know the place fairly well from my days at Summers Point. There's a lot of pieces, like Will said. This has got to be thought out and made right when it happens. And I voted no for a reason, is there's so much history with marinas, riparian rights from my days in Summers Point that I hope it's thought out correctly before decisions are made, and that's what the planning board has to do. And Anchorage Point has been neglected over the years. I shouldn't say neglected, but that bulkhead needs to be fixed. It should have been fixed years ago. In the old days of being a cop in Summers Point, when the road was 3 feet lower, you couldn't get in, you couldn't get out there. Okay, so those people have suffered with the water, and maybe dredging will help them ultimately, that they realize that they dredged the lagoon to hold back some of that water. So getting off that soap opera. Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy New Year. Hope everybody has a safe New Year. And I hope that this country realizes next year in the first quarter, second quarter, when you listen to all these financial people, that things get better for all of us. So Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Mr. Ellis.
Yeah, my thing with the ambulance court situation is I learned more in 5 minutes with the lady explaining than, what I knew in the past. So we'd like to get a better understanding of what's going on and for the two parties to come together. Also, it was please enjoy, the holidays with your family. Please enjoy the holidays with whoever you're going to be with. And Mrs. Hughes, if you're baking cakes or anything, I'm coming by. And I had to say this real quick. I've been in the business for a long time. I coached football for 45 years, over 45 years, and I see one of my little kids now. He's a man now. That was high school. I was his coach in high school. I was his coach. Yeah, I was his coach. No, he was good. I was good. And I'm looking at him now. I'm like, look at my little baby. He's a man now. Yep. So it goes to show. Oh, that's right. But like I said, it was so good seeing him. I got happy as soon as I walked in. His family was beautiful. It's beautiful. They were teachers at the high school, and his dad was a karate expert. People, like we were real rough in high school. Back then, we didn't have all these laws and rules, and you only got suspended for 2 days. And his dad didn't play. We were scared of his dad because he was, oh yeah. And his mom was just the sweetest woman in the whole school. Mrs. Manor, she was beautiful, beautiful family. But Miss Eileen, who's going to call you Miss Eileen when you're going? Who am I going to call? Mrs. Hughes. Miss Eileen, it's really been a pleasure. You're a beautiful person, beautiful family, and I guess I could still come past the office and visit them ladies. No, tell them to let me in the back, the side door, Miss Eileen. Before you leave, say that's your last wish. Before you leave, let me in that door. Have me walking all around. Y'all know my back hurt. Happy holidays to everyone.
Very good.
You too.
But a couple things. Every one of us up here has been out to Anchorage Point numerous times, the various title levels, because it gets bad out there. So I think meetings like this are good for dialogue. I think there's a lot of points that were brought up tonight that, as it goes to the planning board stage, are going to have to be discussed and actually good answers given to all of us. So I think that's critical for all of us. So I just wanted to say that. I also wanted to say a big thank you to the Recreation Department, since she's right back there, that we had a tree lighting ceremony this month. We had, I judged some lights, Christmas lights. There were some beautiful lights in the township. Yeah. We had a lighting contest, which they will announce the winner later on this week, Friday. And it's beautiful out here. So, Eileen, I know where you live. So I'm going to miss you, but I do know where you live. So I just want to wish you all the best in your retirement. You know, when you get to keep your head on that pillow, when that alarm goes, oh, wait, what alarm? You won't need it anymore. So, but thank you for all that you did for the township. It was outstanding, and just enjoy every minute of retirement. You earned it.
And put your flowers in wood.
You earned it. Yeah, please. Absolutely. And I just want to wish everybody else a very Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, a Happy New Year, and we'll see you all in 2026. Tom, anything for you?
Yes. Sorry. I just want to thank Neiman Rosenberg for working with you this past year. It's been a pleasure. I want to apologize to Miss Eileen and the clerk staff for such a doozy of an agenda. But I also want to say, and Chief Hughes too. Sorry, Mike. And also, congratulations, Eileen. It's been a pleasure the last 3 years working with you. You helped me a lot through the ways. And good luck in retiring. I know you're going to like it. Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Anything else? Can I have a motion to adjourn? I guess we had a second and a third. All in favor? Aye. No closed session tonight. Thank you. Merry Christmas, everybody.